TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Ferndale High School, it's the Grosse Pointe Norsemen taking on the Ferndale Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorin, this time along with Frank Plakis. And Frank, welcome to tonight's broadcast. And I just want to start out talking about Grosse Pointe and the strong team they have coming against these Ferndale Eagles. And it's primarily a rushing team.
Well, they come in 9-1, and they do have a great rushing attack. Leonard Harris carried the football, 2,202 yards, 29 touchdowns. He comes after you. They want to wear you down. Grosse Pointe can attack. They think they can wear out the bigger Ferndale team. I think they're going to have to throw the football a little bit to keep it loose. Okay, and on the other side, the Ferndale Eagles, we have to talk about Elvin Jones, a star in many sports, and including this one. He has done a great job this year. 13 touchdowns for him. Tremendous athlete. He does have 13 touchdowns. He led Oakland County in receptions. He's got over 1,200 yards in yardage. He's a game breaker. He's the guy they have to worry about. When we talked to the Grosse Pointe staff, they said they've got to know where Elvin Jones is on the field at all times, offense and defense. They are very concerned about his athleticism, but Ferndale's got a little bit more than that with Griffin and some other people, and they had the #1 rusher in Oakland County also in Reed. And how do you think these two teams match up? Who do you give the edge to? Well, it's kind of interesting because Ferndale's been really tough to run the football against. So you've got strength against strength, and if they are able to control the football and keep Ferndale off the field, Ferndale scored 29 points in the last quarter in a minute last week, and you got to keep them off. Very explosive offense. Okay, stay with us. We'll have the kickoff for you right after these messages. We'll be right back. The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. And by Bell Tire.
I'm the king.
Rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gothier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my Market Share Coupon Book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this. $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology. Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this. Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more. The competition can. Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't. They make a lot more noise. Modernistic.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
Welcome back to the TCI Game of the Week. Dave Zorin along with Frank Plakis here at Hanson Field in Ferndale, where today the Ferndale Eagles will be defending their undefeated record against the Grosse Pointe North Norsemen. Let's take a look at our records this season between these two teams. They come up with a pretty good matchup. Only one loss for Grosse Pointe North, and that came to Mott, Warren Mott. 3-1, 9-1 overall. Ferndale 6-0 in the conference, 10-0 overall. And we are underway. Taking it for Grosse Pointe North, Simon. James Simon on the return. And the low kick is brought back just shy of the 40-yard line at about the 38.
Well, one of the early highlights here is that the weather's great. Sometimes in the high school playoffs, you get the weather becomes such a big factor. Both teams will be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it. It's just a matter of who came to play.
A big break for both teams, and you're right. Normally this time of season we get the cold wind blowing, maybe some flurries, but it is a perfect day for football. The quarterback for Grosse Pointe North, Steve Champagne, works with a full house in the backfield. Power eye right, and getting in there quickly and slamming him down, Elvin Jones, and number 5, that was also Gardner, David Gardner on the tackle, and they quickly got to the big running back, Harris. Let's take a look.
Well, Jones plays that Mike back, and he steps up, and you can see Gardner step in. He's the toughest linebacker for Ferndale. Both of them greeted. Grosse Pointe felt they had to know where Jones is. Jones showed them where he was.
Yeah, so many things talked about offensively for Elvin Jones. That time he showed us defensively that he can get in there. Gain of about 1. Champagne to throw on second down, complete across midfield to the 48-yard line, and that was complete out there to Frank Sambera, one of his top receivers, and of course that is Frank Sambera's son. Let's take a look.
Well, they have to throw the football. Ferndale's very tough against the run. They get down deep into the seam of the zone, and the ball's right on the money from Champagne. You can see that Ferndale closes pretty quickly. They're going to have to give less cushion.
There you see Elvin Jones working on the outside. Hand off, right off the bat there, and not much that time for number 31, Moorcutt, Christopher Moorcutt on the carry.
Well, they're trying to give Ferndale a lot of different looks because they come out, they're used to people keen on Leonard Harris. With his 2,000 yards rushing on the season, he's going to draw a lot of attention. They've shown you Harris, they've shown you the pass, and they've shown you the fullback.
So the ground attack not really working that effectively so far for Grosse Pointe. Gain of maybe 1 or 2 on that one, and it'll be second and long. I formation. Champagne pitching out to Harris. Harris trying to cut back, but was met hard there by number 71. And that was Buchzeiger. Ryan Buchzeiger on the tackle.
But Jim Blake has coached for many years in Macomb County, and he's played against Grosse Pointe North before, and you can see that they're keyed on Harris. They shut him right down, and Buchzeiger's all over him. Good hit, good solid tackle. But we were talking before the game. Matter of fact, he even referred to it as the Plakas 5-2 defense because a lot of people in Macomb County run that defense.
So Grosse Pointe familiar with that. There you see Champagne, the quarterback. I formation pro set with the receivers. Back to throw again. Third and long. Champagne looking down. Has his man complete down the sideline. Inside the 35 and close to the 30-yard line. Well, Grosse Pointe North, primarily a running team going to the air this time.
Well, they're going to have to, and they flooded the zone. They sprint out to the right. They get a lot of people out into the zone. They find the seam deep, and you saw Jones come up for the rush. Instead, he's got to get back on that coverage. But 2 people deep, I think there was a blown coverage. 16 yards on that one.
It gets across the 30-yard line, just inside it, first and 10 for the Norsemen. Going with the familiar I formation pro set again. Champagne again to Leonard Harris. Harris stacked up again. Boy, the Ferndale Eagles know that he's coming, and Harris hasn't been able to break away for anything.
Well, Harris is one of those runners, though, that the more times he touches it, the more dangerous he gets. He seems to, be the workhorse. They think they can wear you down in that line, and they're eventually going to break one. But they've done a great job of mixing it up here, Dave.
Here you see the fans. Great weather brings out a lot of fans, and that is the Ferndale side. And on the far side, you can see Grosse Pointe has quite a bit of people also. Packed on the other side. Second and long. Champagne to throw. Has a man open in the flat, and he's got him down the sideline, and out of bounds goes Simon. The pass complete out to James Simon. And it looks like he is short of the first down.
I'll tell you, that was a great throw by Champagne, though. You're going to see Jones come out into the coverage, and it's just over his hands. He's a state champion high jumper, and if he can go up and get it, he's going to go all the way, just out of his reach. Picks up 5.
Picked up 5 short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 3 coming up. First possession of the game. Grosse Pointe North on the move here at Hanson Field in Ferndale. Champagne, the quarterback, fakes the handoff, pitches out. Harris trying to make a cut, and it's slippery there in the middle of the field. And his feet just went out from under him, and he's going to be short of the first down.
Well, Dave, we were on the field before the game, and there's just a light coat of mud out there. It's a little bit slippery. You saw Champagne tried to cut right there. The defense was sitting in his lap. He couldn't cut to the outside.
4th down now, and decision time for Grosse Pointe. There you see the sideline. That's a little bit worse than what it is in the middle of the field, but it is very soft out there. As you see, head coach Frank Sambera for Grosse Pointe. He's been there 16 years as head coach, 28 years total at Grosse Pointe North. Handoff to the first man through, and getting close to the first down, and it looks like he picked it up, is number 31, Morcutt.
Well, you know, Morcutt has to answer today. I'm sure there's been a lot of times this season where they've keyed so much on Harris that he has to carry the football, picks up a key first down there. But another thing for Grosse Pointe is Champagne's been the quarterback 3 full seasons, and half of his freshman year they brought him up, and he was the starting quarterback the last 3 games of that season.
So very experienced quarterback in there for Grosse Pointe North. On this first drive, he's showing that experience, having to go to the air. And he has completed all his passes. Ball just inside the 20. 1st and 10. Champagne back to throw. Flags fly, and they whistle it dead before the play can really develop.
Well, the linebackers were moving in there. You don't know if they broke the plane or not. We'll see who this goes against. That's going to be against Grosse Pointe. That's not the spot you want to pick it up, but at least to pick it up on first down. What you hate to do is pick that up on 3rd or 4th down.
Yeah, really puts you in a hole.
They got the opportunity to pick it up. They're going to change their philosophy a little bit here. Don't be surprised to see them throw it right away.
There you see the far side. That's the Grosse Pointe side. Grosse Pointe North, well represented here. The drive so far, 9 plays, 43 yards for 443 off the clock so far. First drive of the game. Grosse Pointe eating up the clock. Leonard Harris gets it on the carry, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and he's short of that. Gain of about 3 or 4.
Well, they did a good job of running the draw play. That's the things you have to do to loosen up that defense and stop that rush. But you can see they are all over Harris. Harris comes in line off the draw, and Gardner just steps right up, and looks like Pulaski too, number 70.
Yep. Big arms on that guy. We talked about it before the game. He's ready to go to college. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd about 13. Champagne pressured and sacked. In there, number 86, Randy Royal on the sack.
No, that's Lucas. They changed numbers. That's going to bring Lucas in. Or did they give Royal the... No, that's
like 86.
Right. I'm sorry, you're right. We got some change in numbers. It is, Lucas went to 80. Yeah, Randy Royal from his defensive end position or linebacker position comes in, puts a lot of pressure on, and he's just a sophomore, 6'4", 195 pounds, 10-yard sack.
Add that on to the 3 previous, and it'll be 3rd and about 23 coming up.
Get 44, get 44.
Champagne to throw. Champagne looking deep, right down the middle of the field. He's got his man. Touchdown, Grosse Pointe North. Complete to number 42, Vince Maley. Well, just when it looked like Ferndale had him down, Frank, they came back and threw the bomb.
Well, what they did is a good job of running the back out of the backfield and taking up the safety, and then they brought him over on the post pattern. He's going to be wide open, and this is a blown coverage because the safety normally covers this. They occupied him and got him wide open for the touchdown. Boy, Maley did a great job of making sure he hung on to it.
The extra point attempt now. It'll be Champagne to kick. He is the kicker, the punter, the extra point kicker here. And he gets it up. And good. So the Grosse Pointe North Norsemen make a statement here in their first possession, eating up the clock. Only 5:34 left in the first quarter now. And doing it surprisingly through the air, Frank.
Well, they did the two things they wanted to do. They wanted to control the football, and they wanted to score. And they took a lot of time off the clock. And, it was interesting because when we were talking, because you're going to see Maley breaks off on a post pattern and is wide open over the middle. And you can thank that to 44 because he occupied who is that? Leonard Harris. They had Harris coming out of the backfield, and the safety had to pick him up, and it allowed Maley to get wide open over the middle.
There you see head coach Jim Plakus here at Ferndale.
Well, he can't be too excited because they were 17 down to Hazel Park and or 19 down, I think, to Hazel Park, and 17 down to
Berkeley. Elvin Jones back to receive. Champagne to kick. It's a short kick inside the 15-yard line, taking it down the sideline, and finally going out of bounds at around the 21-yard line, or excuse me, the 25-yard line is number 10, and that's Charles Griffin.
Well, you saw the respect for Jones.
Sanford.
They kicked away from him. They did not want to give it. Jones, he's a game breaker. He can go all the way. Probably the quickest athlete on the field, state champion high jumper.
So Sanford's return gets him out across the 20 to about the 25-yard line, close to it. There you see the drive, 12 plays, 62 yards, 6:26 off the clock, and the 32-yard reception by Maley. First play for Ferndale, going to the air, using Elvin Jones, drops the ball. Ball is loose, and it looks like Grosse Pointe North gets it. What a break for the Norsemen, and a tough break for the Eagles, as Jones he was looking to try to get a better grip on the ball and just lost it as he was getting pressured out there. Let's take a look and see what
got
happens.
the recovery, but the defender for Grosse Pointe fell down, and Jones turned and tries to push him away. You see the ball slip out. He gets down to it, and he just can't control it. You see him get ripped away.
Champagne was there quickly to get on Jones, and that left Sherman Terrell open to get the ball. Big break for the Norsemen as they get the ball deep now at the 30-yard line in Eagles territory. Champagne, and there was a little bit of a hitch there on his movement, and it looks like it's going to be illegal procedure there on Grosse Pointe North.
Yeah, it looks like the center's banging his helmet. He'd get the ball up a little late.
Yeah.
Quarterback started to pull out. The ball wasn't there. He had to come back in. But this is where you got that senior quarterback for Grosse Pointe. You saw them with 3rd and 18 and go throw for the touchdown. Champagne's not going to be rattled. He does it all. He doesn't just want to do it all. He does it all.
Frank Cimbera looking on, looking to see if he can capitalize now on the turnover by the Eagles. Ball back at the 35-yard line. And a flag flies as we see Morcutt on the carry.
It's going to be against Ferndale. Their Grosse Pointe's walking. We're going to get a face mask. That's a big one down here. Good hard running inside, and you can see him bounce off the first tackle and get a spin out of there, come on into the second one, and up in there someplace is a face mask, and the officials were quick to call it.
First penalty against the Eagles, and not only did they get the turnover, but now the penalty really kills him because that gets the ball inside the 15-yard line.
Morcutt's a good hard runner out there. Good spin, good force at the point of attack.
They show some good balance in that backfield with the size and speed of Harris, and good hard running by Morcutt. Champagne, the pitch, back to Harris. Harris goes behind his blockers and tries to weave his way through, and does inside the 10-yard line. Gain of close to 5. Now they're going to mark him short of it now. Gain of about 4.
Well, this is where if you're Ferndale, you're hoping either for a turnover or you can stop him and make him kick the field goal. They've got those two tough running backs in there, and don't be surprised to see them throw that ball. They like to throw that dump pass to the tight end down in here.
Mark it back to even lesser gain than I thought, so it will be 2nd and 7 coming up, gain of about 3. And the Eagles really have to tough up here. I formation, pro set with the receivers. North has been doing it through the air. They go to the ground on this drive, though. Harris trying to get close to the first down, and he may get it inside the 5, and they may have first and goal.
Well, you saw the strength of Harris there, that big upper body strength. You've got to hit him low. They're going to hit him high at the point of attack, and it looks like it's going to be no gain. And all of a sudden, Harris is moving people backwards and picking up yardage. He's a horse.
First down inside the 5-yard line, first and goal for Grosse Pointe. There's Leonard Harris, 7 carries, 17 yards so far, but what a season he has had. Over 2,000 yards.
But he had some ball games where people had 29 touchdowns. He was just breaking big gainers to pick up that kind of yardage.
Now they could use a 5-yard gain and get him in the end zone. I formation. They go to the tailback. Harris stacked up after a couple of yards and pushed back. One of the guys in there was 86 Randy Royal and 56 Reyes.
Well, Randy Royal, it looks like there's a big hole at the point of attack, and you see Randy Royal close very hard and straighten Harris up, and that's a match in size because I said Royal is a 6'4", 495-pound sophomore.
Big play by Royal. That's what they need right now. Gain of 3. Gets him a yard away now.
Boy, luck for Morcutt to get this football right here with that hard running of his.
Second and goal from the 1. Harris cutting the corner. He's in for the touchdown. Harris 1 yard out, and Grosse Pointe North is up 13-0 with 3:10 left in the first quarter.
Well, Christopher Morcutt didn't get the football, Dave, but he sure set the block on the for the touchdown. They came at the corner with that lead back, and he just powered away and got a great hole for Harris right there at the corner. He sealed everything down. Harris walked into the end zone. Great block by Morcutt.
Champainen to do the extra point kicking, and he does and gets it up and good. 14-0 now. Grosse Pointe North leads, but really we have yet to see the Eagles really show us anything with the ball, so they're looking forward to doing something offensively now.
Yeah, Ferndale's only had one offensive play, and they fumbled on it. Grosse Pointe, they wouldn't have dreamt this. They wanted to dominate the first quarter, and they've had the ball all but about 10 seconds of it. And, time of possession is just, what's Ferndale had the ball? 12 seconds. The rest has been all Grosse Pointe North.
12 seconds, and that was just one play that didn't really work out for him, where Elvin Jones had fumbled that reception. The drive, 5 plays, 30 yards, 2:12 off the clock, and the 1-yard run by Harris capping it off. 14-0, Grosse Pointe North with the lead, and again they go away from Elvin Jones when the ball gets away from Sanford. Sanford now gets it deep in his own territory. Spinning and trying to battle his way up to the 25-yard line, and a good job to get as much as he could.
Well, Sanford trying to get something going right here. They've got to get a pickup right here, and you can see him bobble the kick. It comes off his knee. He picks it up, and he finds a seam in the middle and isn't too far away from breaking this. And he gets up into it. Good blocking right there at the middle seam, and he gets gobbled up but breaks a couple tackles, picks up another 5.
To see the lopsided time of possession there, 8:38-12. Again, they go to the same play out there. Elvin Jones, and he's explosive. Picks up the first down. So the Eagles go to work right away, pick up a first down.
Well, they came right back. That's confidence in your senior receiver. You come right back with the play that he fumbled. He takes the ball, and you see he wants to do that swim move with his right or left arm and kick that defender off and pushes him away. And if he breaks it, nobody's going to catch him. You are going to see speed that you seldom see in high school football.
Jones with a big day against Berkeley, 218 yards, 14 receptions. Nowhere to go for Deontay Reed.
Yeah, Deontay Reed is more of a cutter slasher, and then they'll bring in Gatewood who will hammer you in that fullback or that running back position. But you can see that Grosse Pointe does a good job of just keeping the shoulders square and not letting him wiggle away because he'll cut on you.
Good job in there by Turner and the rest of the Grosse Pointe defense. Reed with the loss of a couple of yards. The pass goes out to Jones, overthrown. He was covered out there by Champagne. And it'll bring up a 3rd and long now for the Eagles.
Well, Champagne, the quarterback, coach said that he wanted to play defense this year. They're letting him do it because he's one of their best defensive players. The ball's a little bit high. You see Jones go up for it and extend himself. Can't come down with it.
Charlie Griffin, the quarterback for the Eagles, now looking at a 3rd and 13. Griffin to throw, quick out pattern, and overthrows Jones again. It'll bring up a 4th down and a punting down for the Eagles. Well, the Eagles just seem to be out of sync here, Frank.
Well, you know, they get behind 14-0 after that fumble the first possession, and they came out. Jones picks up the 1st down, but the next 2 plays, the ball's been thrown high. And sometimes you get kids, they want to have too many things happen too quickly. You got to get it back 6 at a time.
Back to punt is Griffin, and back to receive. You see number 27. That is Aubrey, Nick Aubrey for Grosse Pointe North. Low line drive kick. Aubrey gets away, and Ferndale will down it inside the 35-yard line at about the 34.
This may be the key possession of the football game right here because they have not stopped Grosse Pointe. Grosse Pointe's been able to move the football on them. They've had Grosse Pointe in trouble, and they've still been able to come back and get it in the end zone. And they get them in the end zone right now. I think Grosse Pointe has that ability to control the football and you go hide.
Well, Ferndale had a chance now to come back and answer those 2 touchdowns, and Grosse Pointe North just shut the door on them.
Well, it's interesting, too. They've matched up Champagne with Jones out there, and they said, we're going to put our best against your best, and right now Champagne's on top.
And the Eagles come back and gotten on the board. It would be 14-7, and you're in the game. But now, Grosse Pointe North, as Frank said, has a chance to really do something if they can get on the board again. Harris on the run.
Well, that first drive, they did everything that was important through the air. And the second one, they were able to run the football. And if they can go and get that running game going, they're going to just dominate this thing. But Ferndale's come back a couple times. You're going to see Harris inside, and he wraps up that football because Ferndale will grab it. They'll rip it on you. You better wrap it up.
They have done that in the past, and we saw them against Avondale this year. Do a good job of getting in there, making turnovers, and making things happen for them. In motion, Sambera. High formation in the backfield. The pitch goes back to Harris. Harris with a wall of blockers, and then he's tripped up from behind. And a great effort there by the Eagles to catch him from behind, and getting him is number 80, Lucas, Damon Lucas.
Well, you can see the speed of Ferndale here because they do have a good wall for Harris. They want to take that corner. You see Lucas, and well, also that was Randy Royal.
Also Royal getting in there first. Yeah.
Got a dive on, got his heels.
Good pursuit by the Eagles, stops that one, and it's 3rd and long now for Grosse Pointe North.
Well, seldom you have a big play this early in the game, but I'll tell you, this is monumental right here.
3rd and 6. Champagne to throw, quick slant in, and it's intercepted. Elvin Jones has nothing but daylight in front of him. Champagne getting the angle on him and getting him out of bounds, and that's exactly what the Eagles needed right there.
No doubt about it, and you know what's going to happen. It's the big-name players that come up with him in the big games. Alvin Jones picked up the coverage because Grosse Pointe likes to throw this dump pass off of the play action to the tight end. Jones is right there. The ball's up in the air. He's able to gather it. The only person who can catch him is Champagne. Champagne does it, but they take it down inside the 10. That's a 37-yard return.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line. The Ferndale Eagles with a chance to tighten up the score. Straight dive that time by Gatewood.
Well,
Nicholas Gatewood, the senior.
Ferndale shifts gears here. They bring Gatewood in, the 6'1", 225-pound senior, 6 foot, 225 pounds. He's a load. You see him come into the line. They just get him by a foot here, but he hammers it forward. And I'll tell you, 4 downs with him is a tough stop, and we're going to get an end of a period here.
Eagles fans fired up now, something to cheer about as we end the first quarter of play. Grosse Pointe North 14, Ferndale nothing, but they're on their way. We'll be back right after this.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
Welcome back to Hanson Field here at Ferndale High School, where Grosse Pointe North leads 14-0, but the Ferndale Eagles have just come up with a big turnover themselves and are on their way to their first score of the day.
Well, Ferndale was just hoping to stop them on that big third down play. Instead, they end up with the interception of 37-yard return.
One receiver split. Taking it himself is Griffin. Griffin trying to muscle his way in, and he is stopped there.
Yeah, Griffin's got it down. It's got to be awful close to being in. He took it from the, looks like the 3-yard line they had it. I'm surprised they didn't go with Gatewood there. He really hammers it home. You can see Griffin, though, he's got the good balance. He comes hard. Grosse Pointe gets everybody on him. I'm talking everybody. And puts it down to the 1-yard line here.
Yep, down to the 1. Third and goal from the 1. Gatewood, the sole back. And he's got some power. They go with Gatewood. Gatewood in for the touchdown. Nicholas Gatewood puts Ferndale on the board. As we start the second quarter, Ferndale now tightening up the score, 14-6, waiting on the extra point attempt. So a good way to start this second quarter for Ferndale. Griffin to kick the extra point. It is up. I think somebody got a hand on it. It is no good, and we've got a flag on the play.
I think somebody roughed the holder or the kicker. They're going to get another try at it.
I think somebody got a hand on it. There it is, roughing the kicker. Good call. And they're going to get another shot.
Yeah, they got a piece of him. And well, the thing is, someone gets a hand on it, but if it's not the guy who got the hand on it, you can't go and hit him. And you're going to see the kick right here, and they get great penetration, and they just come right over the top and nail. Oh, they hit him hard.
It's not the guy who hit the ball. It's another guy who came in.
Yeah, just got him hard. That's it'll be interesting here. A lot of times they're going to take a timeout because I think they're going to go for 2.
They may do that now that they're closer.
Well, it's half the distance. You're down to 1.5-yard line. You might as well go for 2, and they got an awful lot of pressure on that extra point. So
yeah, let's see if we can draw anything here. If we can come up with anything.
Yeah, we're going to go and they get the penetration, and you can see the
kicker is here, and there's the guy right there who ran into him.
Yeah, and
but
I mean
the guy who blocked it is right here. This guy ran into him, pushed him down. So as you said, it can only be the man who's making the block to get running.
Yeah, they hit him straight up, and he drove him too. I mean, there was he didn't pull back either.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the official let that go a little bit if you try to avoid the contact, but yeah, he just took him right straight over.
So big decision here for Ferndale, whether they go for the 2 or the 1. 3 plays, 5 yards, 49 seconds off the clock. The 1-yard run by Gatewood to cap it off, and the big play, of course, was the interception. It was tipped into the hands of Elvin Jones to bring it down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, they like to run this fade to the corner to Elvin Jones on this, or just send him straight up in the air to catch the football. Jones is out to the right, and look for him. They're going to give it to Gatewood.
They just go to Gatewood and see if he can use his muscle. And he does, and a big score there for Ferndale as they pick up 2.
You're going to see him get hit 2 times straight up, but you are not going to stop Nick Gatewood straight up. He's got those big thighs. You look at the size of him, 6 foot, 225 pounds. A lot of people are looking for them to go right and go over there to Jones, but Gatewood comes back. He gets pounded right here at the point of attack. He knocks him down, breaks the next tackle, and then he's walking into the end zone. That first shot was direct, too. He just stood him right up. That's, what a great luxury for Ferndale. They've got Reed in there at the backfield at 5'8", and he's the scat back and he's the cutter. Then you bring Gatewood in, he just punishes you.
Yep. And to have Elvin Jones on the field, just his presence takes so much away from what Grosse Point can do, and they can't key on anybody.
And we've seen Sanford make some great catches over against Hazel Park. He made a key catch. He'll go up and get it. He'll catch 5 or 6 balls a game.
The Eagles come back, and they come back big. 8 points, and it's 14-8, and it's a different game now. Ball taken there and brought back by number 27, Aubrey. Nick Aubrey brings it out across the 20 to about the 24-yard line.
Well, Ferndale's the type of team you don't want to give them too many breaks, and you see the bad bounce here, and everybody at that end of the field has been having trouble picking the football up. He does a great job of recovering it, but he gets stuck right here. There's a lot of people, a lot of bodies on him. But every kickoff's been, they got great respect for each other. They've been putting the ball low down there, and it's been bouncing around.
Total yards so far, Grosse Point North with the edge, but Ferndale inching its way back with 21. And now, defensively, the fired-up Eagles have to come up big here. Campine on the handoff. And not much there. The handoff to the fullback. More cut. Nothing there.
Well, the inside of that defense for Ferndale has been real tough. Most times, though, they were able to pick up a first down on them early. But you're going to see right here at the point of attack, there's a great collision. And everybody straightens him up, and he's got the balance, but he can't, Moorcutt can't get loose.
Familiar number 86, Randy Royal in there to make the stop.
Well, Gardner and Royal are two tough inside linebackers. You don't get by them too often.
There you see Bucksager. Campine to throw, has a man that's just behind him. As Samira went airborne, that kind of signal that he wasn't going to catch that one as it was thrown behind him.
Well, Champagne, he's been completing everything all day. You see him set up nice, but he gets behind the receiver, and you can't cut back on this field. It's got to be right to you. And Ferndale, they play for those mistakes. They want that ball to bounce off you as it did with Jones, and you'll get your passes, but you make a mistake, they're going to punish you.
Yeah, that time, had that ball been airborne a little bit, 2 defenders were hanging back for Ferndale. They could have come up with another interception easy on that one. 3rd and long. 3rd and 10 again. Champagne to throw. Goes to the air. Gets it back out of the backfield. That's the tight end, rather than number 30. James Simon, the tight end, coming across. And they complete it, but it'll be 4th down coming up.
Sanford does a great job of closing from a safety position. They ran the tight end off, and Champagne fakes the pitch, and he's going to come back and hits him right over the middle. But you're going to see Sanford come in and close right now. That's the speed we talk about that Ferndale has. They can shut you down in a hurry. Well, do you gamble right here?
Well, 4th and inches, I don't know. The game's riding on it. They're going to go. Looks like they're going. If they don't make this, Ferndale has the ball in very good field position. Maybe they'll try to draw him off. Let's see what they do. Quarterback sneak. I don't know if he's going to get it. They stack him up. Let's see where they mark it.
Boy, it's all depends on the spot. It's really close. They spot it with the right foot or the left foot.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. And they let him fall down. They're going to give him the first down, looks like.
Yeah, they got it. Boy, it didn't look like he got much. And if anything, it looked like he just got it.
Well, he got straightened up, and then they let him fall down. He's right here in the middle, and you're going to see the collision right there. And boom. I don't know where he's moving.
Still right there.
Yeah, he's still back there. They let him come down.
And they got it. Forward progress is marked for the first down, so the Norsemen continue their drive. Hand off to Moorcutt. And all he does is just dive forward for maybe 1 or 2. If he's lucky.
Moorcutt's one of those power runners. He's able to rip out, but Ferndale's awfully big in there in that defensive line, and you look at the size, and those 3 defensive linemen are big horses. Boy, we were admiring their arms earlier. It looked like legs coming out of their sleeves. Pulaski, if we ever get a shot at his arm, I'll tell you.
Number 70 down there for Ferndale. Pulaski, some huge arms on him. Second down and long, 2nd and 9. The option goes to Harris. Harris with some room to run. And he goes out of bounds and takes a seat on the Ferndale bench. Not enough for the first down. He's going to be short of it. 3rd down and short yardage coming up.
Well, they did a nice job of running the option. Champagne holds on to it right till the last second to be able to get things. You see Jones closed on the quarterback, and they were able to get it to Harris and get the ball out to him.
Harris decides to go out of bounds early, and it'll be 3rd and short coming up.
You know, I'm surprised. I thought Harris would be a little quicker than what he is. He's got those heavy legs. He's a hard runner, but he hasn't shown us that real good speed yet.
2 of 4 on 3rd downs for Grosse Pointe North. Let's see what they do here. 3rd and 2. Champagne to the air, and he's got his man for the first down at midfield. Complete to number 9, Joseph Ellis.
Well, they ran that a little deeper than they did that 3rd down play when they got it bobbled up in the air. And Champagne is really impressive right here. He just steps right in, even throws it off the wrong foot, just delivers. Got to have a great arm.
The slant in works for Grosse Pointe North. Timeout down on the field by the referee, and they are going to talk to the Ferndale coaching staff. They've got some questions down on the field.
I don't guys who want it out on the field, okay? I want you guys to be off the field.
It seems to be too many players down on the field.
Well, what they're talking about, the coaching staff. But no, they want the coaching staff back off the field. There's a line that runs about a yard off the sidelines, and they want everybody back in it. They want them in the box. And so they brought the coaching staff over, and they said, nope, you got to stay inside the box. This is an experienced crew. Joe Kovalich has been around, I think, since toothpaste.
Long time. Ball's at midfield. 1st and 10 for Grosse Pointe North. The tailback, Harris. Harris runs into everybody. In there, Pulaski and also number 80, Lucas, to make the stop.
Lucas has done a good job of holding up that corner because they run that fullback at him in the lead block. You see him take on the block and get rid of him and take it down. Great picture right there. Great defense.
Maybe gain of about a half a yard or a yard on that. A yard. 2nd and 9 coming up. The Norsemen on the move, and they are in Ferndale territory. They are up 14-8 with 7:23 and counting here in the 2nd quarter. 2 receivers split up top for Champagne. There you see the current drive, 8 plays, 26 yards, and 4 minutes off the clock, and the flags fly.
Well, we're going to get a penalty down here.
Yep, delay of game.
Delay of game. But that hasn't seemed to be able to bother Grosse Pointe. Matter of fact, the 2 times they've had penalties, they put points in the end zone. But that goes back to experienced quarterback. You're not going to rattle Chris Champagne here. He's just he's a tough one.
2nd down and 14 now for Grosse Pointe North, and they will have to change their call to fit this situation.
For Steve Champagne, I got him, Chris. It's Steve Champagne. He doesn't get rattled. He's Mr. Composure out there. As we said, he started 3 full seasons in the last 3 games of his freshman year at quarterback.
Pro set, I formation. Champagne to the air, he gets pressure, gets away from Damon, and throws downfield, intended down there. For his tight end. Was that incomplete? Yes. Intended for his tight end, James Simon. Damon Lucas put pressure on him.
They got a lot of pressure. You're going to see 80 You're going to see 80 right in his lap and all over him, and Champagne fights him off. You can see the strength of Champagne. Again, off the wrong foot. And he goes down, and it bounces in. You can see it come in, but
right in between his legs.
Yeah, it does a great job of almost hanging on to it.
Nice effort. Use everything you can, I guess. 3rd and 14 now. Clock stopped at 7:05 left in the 2nd quarter. Steve Champagne, the quarterback, back to throw. Has some time, unloads into heavy traffic, and almost intercepted down there by number 2, Michael Lee.
Somebody had a piece of that one. That one got deflected back at the line, but Champagne has got that strong arm. I'm impressed. He's throwing off the wrong foot. He's throwing off balance, and he can still put some zip on that football. He's got to be a heck of a baseball player. And ball's up for grabs, though, and they're fortunate they didn't lose that one.
A lot of gold down there, but a lot of brown also, and the Ferndale Eagles almost came up with that one. And now it's a punting down. Elvin Jones back to receive. Champagne to kick. Not a good kick, but he does get a little bit of a bounce and a roll, and the ball at about the 31-yard line. So the Ferndale Eagles will take over offensively with 6:50 left here in the second quarter.
Well, they haven't had the ball often, but they did put 8 points on the board and keep themselves in the ball game. They've settled into pretty good defensive rhythm, Ferndale has. They've got a pretty good grip on what's happening, and you see Grosse Point losing that momentum to the Eagles.
Let's see if the Eagles can pick it up offensively now and get some momentum going again. In the backfield is Reed, Deontay Reed, the back now. And they fake to Reed, try to go to the air. They pump once to Jones and get him on the second one. Across midfield, across the 40, and now it's a foot race. Elvin Jones has just put this game in tie numbers. All tied up.
Well, it really doesn't become a foot race when Jones gets in the open. It's just a matter of how close you can get to him, because you're not going to get to him. He almost seems to have that stride like Gordie Howell had. They fake the dive inside. They hit Jones over the middle. You see him break a tackle right away early. We went with Royal for a minute, but he breaks the tackle now right here, and now he's gone. He just, you're not going to catch him. Everybody's diving at him, and look at how he just strides. He seems like he's just... like Gordie Howell used to skate. You know, you just don't close on him.
Extra point by Griffin is up. It is good, and the Ferndale Eagles now have the lead.
Well, you've got to be concerned if you're Grosse Point, Dave, because you had everything go your way. Everything was in your lap, and everything was in front of you, and you're behind. And you say, well, what if we don't get those breaks the second half? But we knew going into this how explosive Ferndale is. One play, 69 yards, 12 seconds. They're stuck on that 12 seconds. They had the fumble after 12 seconds before. This is a positive 12 seconds.
It sure is. They'll take that.
And Jones covered it easily. And they are explosive. Ferndale is explosive. They can put points on every way you can imagine.
A great job, too, by Charles Griffin not to force that first attempt. He pumped once, didn't like what he had, then got him when he was open.
Yeah, and you got to compliment that offensive line for sealing things off in there to give him that kind of time. And you're right, great poise by the junior quarterback.
It'll be Griffin to kick. Kick taken at about the 20-yard line. Moorcutt on the return, spun around at the 30, and finally brought down at about the 33, 34-yard line.
You know, Moorcutt has that great balance, and you see him get spun around a lot, but he doesn't go down. He knows where he is on the field, and he backs up to get this one. He wants the football. He doesn't want it to hit the ground again, and he gets a load going forward. You can see all the decals on his helmet for outstanding effort, and he gives you a second effort there.
Well, we saw Ferndale get 12 seconds on the last drive, and you can still see the time of possession is way off in terms of balance. Grosse Point North with the big edge, but the edge on the scoreboard, the most important one, in favor of Ferndale right now. Harris breaks into the backfield, and Harris, the game breaker, trying to make something happen for Grosse Point North across midfield now.
Well, he's a straight up and down runner. He's tall and he comes out there, but you have to hit him low. You saw people bounce off him. He gets a good hole at the point of attack right here inside, and he breaks a tackle right there, and then another one, and you can't take him up there. You got to get down, you got to wrap him up, and they're finally going to get to his legs, but you hit his upper body. Thighs are too thick.
Not before he crosses midfield into Ferndale territory.
That's a nifty 17-yard carry.
Big gain for the Norsemen, and here they come again. Moorcutt on the carry this time, and they stack him up in a good play defensively by Gardner. David Gardner getting in there and getting in low.
Well, Gardner's probably the surest tackler on the team. He plays that inside linebacker position with Royal, and you're going to see Morcutt cut back, and Gardner's right there, wraps him up around the legs, and those big guys don't go anywhere. You get their ankles wrapped up.
2nd down and 9 coming up now for the Norsemen. The Eagles fired up. They have the lead 15-14 with 5:40 left in the first half. Champagne takes the first man, pitches out to Harris. Harris spinning and manages to get a few yards out of it. Finally stopped again by Gardner. And also number 81, Sandvet.
Well, you saw last time they ran the option that Jones got inside, committed to the quarterback. This time he stayed out, held his ground, and the Ferndale people were screaming for a hold out there. They felt he'd get grabbed.
3rd down now for North. 3rd and long, as you see. Frank Sombera on the far sideline. His team was up 14-0 at one point. The Eagles have come back to take the lead. Champagne to throw. Goes to the sideline and intercepted by Elvin Jones. Elvin Jones with his 2nd interception of the day.
You know, you talk about, they said they got to know where Jones is on the field, offense and defense. He's up, shutting down the option on one play. He's intercepting the pass on the next play. Great athlete, great anticipation. You see Champagne roll out, gets a lot of pressure on him right here. They're right in his face. And big 71 got him to throw it early, and Jones just gets downfield, and it's all his. He looked like the receiver. But they're lucky he didn't break away again, too.
Champagne has thrown 2 passes like that. The one that was almost intercepted, and now that one up for grabs again. And Elvin Jones got that one, his 2nd one of the day. They go to Jones downfield, and hanging back and getting the interception. And a nice job by Bordato. Gary Bordato by Grosse Pointe North comes up with the big interception, as Ferndale tried to come right back on the next play and capitalize, going to Jones.
Well, Jones had him beaten. The ball was underthrown, and the safety did a good job of taking the coverage that he has to. He comes over and drifts into it. You're going to see the ball just a little bit short. Jones has got him beat deep, and Bordato just slides over and makes the interception.
Well, what a game of emotions it has been. Turnovers, 2 apiece now, so we even it up. And Grosse Pointe North gets a chance to get the ball back with 4:40 left here in the 2nd quarter. Hand off to Harris. Harris trying to break something outside, and it's strung out pretty good by Ferndale. Pushing him out of bounds was Damon Lucas.
Well, you have to wonder if the Grosse Pointe coaching staff might get a little bit conservative here and just try to move the ball down the field with the running game, because they don't want to give it up, give more momentum. You can see Harris, what a strong runner he is. You hit him upstairs, he doesn't come down. You got to get him low. You got to take his legs out. But we'll see philosophically here if they're willing to maybe. They don't want to give up the football again and let Ferndale come down, because they can get it in the end zone in 12 seconds if they have to.
Gain of 5 by Harris. Power I formation right, and now in motion goes Aubrey, and Aubrey goes power left now. See which way they go. Counter, quick counter up the middle, and Aubrey picks up the first down close to midfield.
Well, that looked like an audible at the line of scrimmage, because Ferndale runs that offset nose defense, and they had the play called, and I think that Ferndale was in the right defense for it, so they moved him over, ran it back the other way. Good call, good adjustment by Champagne. Again, we talk about having that veteran senior back there with poise.
And Aubrey goes off. He picked up the first down after he switched over to the left side from the right, and a good audible by Champagne. Now, 1st and 10, ball just shy of midfield. Pitch goes back to Harris. Harris looking it over, goes in between his blockers, and a good read that time. Flag is down. Flag is down at about the 35-yard line.
Well, I can see what Harris's strength is. If he gets steamrolling, you don't knock him down. I mean, he's okay to take down at the line of scrimmage, but they give him the pitch right here. You're going to see him get into a seam and just run hard, and he starts having people just bounce off of him. You put your arm out, he just rips it away from you. Big, strong run. Almost got the football ripped away there. And but they have a hold or a block below the waist. What is the call out here?
Still waiting on the call. Official coming out, talking it over with the Grosse Pointe North sideline. There it is.
It's going to be a clip.
Flipping call. That knocks it back to about the 47-yard line of Ferndale.
Well, it's deep downfield, and you're going to see Harris pick up about 15 yards, and when he gets down in there, you're going to see the flag come up, and we'll see where it comes from right here. And let's see if Randy Rowe gets hit. No, he didn't get hit from behind.
Nope.
It's got to be up out of our camera.
Yep. Timeout call down on the field by the Norsemen as they will think this over. It's a first down and 7 to go. 3:54 left here in the second quarter. What an exciting game it has been. John Bazier, the assistant coach here, he was head coach for many years. Left for a little while, came back, was offered to come back by Jim Plakis.
Yeah, Jim says he does a great job with the kids in the weight room and keeps things organized. And he's
a great guy.
He says he's the kind of guy that every coaching staff needs.
Yeah.
That you've got to have a guy like him, and he's
Positive,
extremely happy to have him back in the program and working with kids, and a big lift to this program.
Timeout down on the field right now. 3:54 left. Harris on his last carry, 19 yards, the one we saw.
Well, that was it, but then they had the penalty.
They had the penalty, they cut it back, and then he's got a total of 80 yards on 17 carries so far.
And that's picked up considerably because they were shutting him down.
So he's starting to cook. Here we go. 1st and 6 after the penalty. Harris, heavy traffic there at the line of scrimmage, and that tripped him up. And again, at the bottom of that pile was number 5, David Gardner.
Well, we talked about Harris being a momentum runner, where the more times he carries it, the better he gets. You see him right here again at the point of attack, and this is where you have to get him, because if he gets out on you after that and gets those big thighs going, he's tough to bring down.
So Gardner gets him again, gets him low and trips him up. He's 2nd down and 4.
He doesn't have that burning speed, but he's got good solid speed. He's not real quick, but he just steamrolls you.
2nd and 4. Champagne, the pitch back to Harris. Harris cuts behind his blocker and then tripped up again by Gardner. Well, Gardner's got his number.
They talk about Gardner being the surest tackler on the field, and we've seen that. Anybody who's coming inside, Gardner splits the scene here on the defense, and if he doesn't get him, Harris is rolling a long way, but he got Harris where you have to get him, right around those shoe tops.
And a good job there by number 64, Reeves. Anthony Reeves, for not going in and piling in on him because he was already down. Reeves was ready to make the hit and then held off.
Yeah, he thought maybe Harris would regain his balance, but you're right, and this field is slippery out in that area. Another one of those big third downs.
Here it is, another crucial 3rd down for Grosse Pointe North. I formation, pro set. Champagne on the slant in, and that has worked for them, and they get it again. And finally brought down hard. It was number 42, Maley, Vince Maley, who caught the first touchdown pass. Finally gets another reception, and he paid for that one. He was slammed hard.
Well, you've seen them come with this slant in, and it's been an effective play. They get people rotating, and Maley hangs onto the football, and you see him try to rip away right here. And you're right, they do take him down, but Maley hung onto that football.
Randy Royal on the tackle, but Grosse Pointe North picks up the first down. Inside the 30-yard line, at about the 28. Champagne, the pitch back to Harris, and a reverse. They go to Sambera. Sambera hit back, and he's going to be lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage and doesn't do so.
But there's the coaching. You saw Lucas stay home, take care of business, do what he had to do. Great effort by number 80, Lucas, for Ferndale, because they had all that momentum. And you watch Harris go away from you. It's hard not to chase and get on that angle. They bring him back. You can see they got a wall set up. Lucas will not be denied, though, and he could almost have been called, or Grosse Pointe could have been called for a penalty there, I think, coming from behind.
On the tackle, there's number 2, Lee, Michael Lee. Timeout called by Champagne, and he looked like he was audibling and looking down to Sambera, and Sambera did not make his move.
Yeah, and it did look like he was checking off down there. Ferndale was in a defense that he didn't want him to be in, and he's done a good job earlier of checking off right there. He was looking at too much time, didn't want to give it away. They got 1:02 to go, and what are they, 30 yards out?
Yep. Don't forget, in January, high school and college basketball starts here on TCI 63, Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. So watch for that starting in January as we take our brief hiatus in December. And you see the fans on a really a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Ferndale High School. Fans packing the stands on both sides, from Grosse North as well as here from Ferndale.
Well, the weather is the story. We said that early because it's a gorgeous day to play football. And I've been to these games. I remember going to a Farmington-Harrison game one year where the field was solid ice, where they had an ice storm and everybody was slipping and sliding. And after this round, they tried to get them on the artificial surfaces at the colleges.
Yeah. Here we go. Second down and long. 2nd and 15. There you see the clock. Champagne throwing out to Harris. Harris has it across the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and long coming up now, as Harris was only able to get maybe a yard or two past the original line of scrimmage.
Well, you had both Jones and Gardner over there. You see them react to the pass. They shows pass right away. People get out into their pass zones, and you're going to see, I think Jones closes on him first right there, wraps him up, and Jones is big enough at 6'5" and 195 pounds to take Harris down.
3rd and about 7 coming up now for Grosse North. The Norsemen looking into that end zone. They have another big 3rd down coming up now.
Well,
55 seconds left.
Grosse Point's been wanting to throw that stuff out in the flats. They've got to be concerned with people like Jones out there, though.
3 receivers now split. They've got a man in motion. That's Moorcutt. Champagne back to throw. Going down the sideline to Harris. Has Harris.
No good.
And he dropped the ball. Good defense out there, and picking him up was Damon Lucas. Lucas came out of his position and dropped back with the receiver and did a good job.
Well, that's the defensive end job on that weak side. If the back comes out to go with him, and Lucas ran with him. Great throw by Champagne, though. Sets his feet, puts it right in Harris's lap, and right down the middle. Oh, you know what? Lucas got a good. Yeah, but Lucas got a good job. Looked like he got his hand in on it and pulled it out.
Yeah.
But boy, it was on the numbers, wasn't it?
Big 4th down now. And a must situation for Grosse North. 48 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. They should go for it. 4th and 7. There you see the clock. Champagne to throw. Going to the intended receiver, Sambera, and it's off to the sideline and incomplete. And the Eagles will take over now on downs.
Well, credit that to Burkeiser right here. He just gets in real tight, puts the pressure on, and makes the throw go wide. It was way behind the receiver, and you saw big 71 in there putting the pressure right on that throwing arm.
Yep. Ryan Buchzeiger, the big senior, 6'2", 220. And the Eagles now get a chance with 44 seconds left. They can score quickly, so you never know what they're going to do here. Most teams would just sit this one out, but the Eagles, well, they go to the ground. Take a look. Deontay Reed, look out. Down the sideline. Now, if he can get out of bounds, they'd be in business. And he does. And a late hit and a flag.
Yes.
That's going to tack some more yards on.
That's going to add 15 onto that. And, well, you saw him get, Reed can take it the distance. He's Oakland County's leading rusher, and you see him get outside. And this is Reed at his finest. He can cut and he can slash on you. You see his eyes looking around, and he's picking on those blockers, letting it develop. And then he says, I got to get to the outside and get out of bounds right here. And he gets out of bounds and stands up, and he gets drilled in the back right there. You
right
can see
there.
the hit. Oh, that's very late. I mean, that wasn't
hit
even
by
close.
Aubrey. Yep.
Wasn't even close.
This really makes it easy for Ferndale.
Ferndale's got 2 of their timeouts left, I believe. They just used the one on that extra point. That's about it.
Yep, and they've got 33 seconds on the clock. That's plenty of time to get this in the end zone. Let's see what they do. 3 receivers, 1 back. And they try on a slant into Jones. And no flag down.
You're going to see, if we get the replay on that one, you're going to see Jones. They put a saddle on him coming from behind. He's going to come in from the right side, and they want to throw the slant in that they threw for the touchdown. He's got people all over him, and I'll guarantee you they're going to know where he is, and then he takes a hit after it, too.
2nd and 10 now. Clock stopped with 26 seconds.
They like to go to Royal on this. Don't be surprised to see Royal up the middle of the field.
Deontay Reed into block, and they do go to Royal, but he just couldn't handle it. They'll stop the clock with 23 seconds, and 3rd down coming up. So the Eagles stalling now at about midfield. Let's take a look.
Yeah, they want to get the ball to Royal. They get it in his hands. He lets it bobble down the middle of him. He wasn't going to go too far anyhow. Yeah. Grosse Point's doing a good job of, it's not a true prevent defense, but they've sure softened it up, got those linebackers a little loose.
Well, they've tried the slant in twice to come inside. Let's see if they go down the sidelines now and really try to air it out. Pressure on Griffin. He goes back, way back, throws downfield, and almost intercepted. 2 Grosse Point North defenders there, Champagne and Bordato. Bordato already having 1 interception back there.
Well, what they wanted to do was run off the deep people with Jones and bring Royal in behind him, but they get flushed right here. They crash the end. They flush Griffin. He still gets the ball, but he's off the wrong foot, doesn't get a lot on it. He's lucky this one isn't intercepted or shot down.
4th down with 15 seconds left. Still have time to pick up a first if they don't get in the end zone. They go deep down the sideline and just throwing it out of bounds. It's Griffin in desperation as he was pressured by number 73, Bergman, Troy Bergman, who is the son of Dave Bergman, the former Detroit Tiger.
Well, we got some flags down there. I don't know if they're going to call pass interference. Ineligible receiver downfield, 71.
So that'll be declined, and it'll be Grosse Point ball with 9 seconds left. And now, if you're Grosse Point, you either just run it out or throw one play. Let's take a look.
I think you're going to run it out. You're going to, yeah, I think it almost looked like they were trying to develop a screen here, and then things broke down. They throw it deep and right down with the receivers, right? Whoa, there we go. We got him.
Elvin Jones, big first half for him. 2 interceptions and a long touchdown, 69 yards that put Ferndale up top.
Ferndale's going to get the football to start the second half, and that enters big into this one.
There they go. They go to the run, Harris, and that'll do it. As the clock winds down here in the first half. An exciting first half of football here at Hanson Field in Ferndale, where the Ferndale Eagles have the lead 15-14 as we head into halftime. We'll be back with halftime statistics for you right after these messages. Stay with us. If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
What TCI is looking to do is we're looking to be a full-service provider, a one-stop shopping place, if you will. We're looking to provide all the services that anyone wants to consume in the area of communications, whether that's cable television, whether that's telephone, whether that's data, online services. Our goal is to be able to provide all those through one avenue, and that avenue being TCI.
The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. And by Bell Tire. Welcome back to Ferndale High School here at Hanson Field. Dave Zorin along with Frank Plakas. And we are going to recap that first half for you. The score, 14-15, the Eagles up by 1, and the first score came on this pass from Champagne to Maley, 32 yards back in the first quarter with 5:34 left. And they ate up a lot of the clock here, Frank.
Well, Harris did a good job. You see 44 in your picture there of occupying the safety. That's who had to cover that one deep, and it was 3rd and 18. And you see Harris come back with just a power-off tackle and a great block by Morka.
That was in the first quarter, and that made it 14-0. Then the second quarter, they get the two-pointer. This is the big key. They had already scored the touchdown on the 1-yard run, and here Gatewood just powers through for the 2 points, and that is big right now.
Yeah, that's the lead in the ball game, and you saw Nick Gatewood take on that defensive tackle and just run him over, but then they come back and throw one over the middle on as a great pump fake inside. Jones picks it up. He's going to go 69 yards because when he gets to this point, there's nobody on the field who can catch him. You see him just glide. He's not even turning it on yet.
So two really different quarters. The first quarter just dominated time of possession and everything else by Grosse Pointe North. And on the other side, in the second quarter, Ferndale came through big in the second quarter to get their points. Here we see the halftime statistics. Passing, Grosse Pointe North with 105, Ferndale with 88. Pretty close there. Rushing, Grosse Pointe North gets the edge, but I think all that comes really in that first quarter when they grind out that the ball.
Yeah, you look at the time of possession, and you would say that Ferndale's got to be way behind. Ferndale's only run 14 plays in this football game, and Grosse Pointe's run 45 plays, and yet Ferndale's up on top because they are explosive offensively.
Well, that's it for halftime. The score, Ferndale Eagles 15, Grosse Pointe North 14. We'll be back with second half action right after this.
TCI Cablevision of Oakland County nominated in 3 categories for National Cable Ace. Sports programming, public affairs, overall commitment to local programming.
And the Cable Ace award goes to Transition.
The Cable Ace goes to TCI Cablevision of Oakland County.
TCI 63. See what you've been missing.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn. It's the way you learn.
TCI Sports Game of the Week. This week we're at Ferndale High School where the Eagles lead the Norsemen 15-14. And we showed you the halftime highlights and statistics. And really, Frank, we're talking about that two-point conversion that Ferndale got with Gatewood scoring, and that was set up by a big penalty that really cost Grosse Pointe North.
Yeah, that was a big break on the part for Ferndale because they had the extra point blocked. Griffith's kick was tipped by somebody, and Grosse Pointe roughed the kicker. That took the ball down to the 1.5-yard line, and then they took Gatewood, and you see Jones, 3 receptions, 88 yards. He had 200 yards last week in 14 receptions, so he can do it to you.
Yeah, and those, if I'm not mistaken, those are all of the receiving yards, too. And as you can see, they are all the receiving yards. Griffin throwing for 88 yards, 3 of 9, and all those 88 going to, of course, the big receiver, Elvin Jones.
Well, you know, they talked about, Grosse Pointe talked about keeping the ball out of the hands of Ferndale. You can see why. Ferndale, you know, had the ball for 15 plays, and they've got 15 points. And so they've dominated it, and Grosse Pointe had to go in the locker room at halftime saying, you know, we got a lot of breaks. We did everything we wanted to do, and we're 1 down. We got to play a perfect second half to win this thing.
Yep. As you had mentioned at halftime in talking, when you were coaching, you're looking at the scoreboard. You're up by 6. You're saying we're doing everything we can, and it's working, and we're only up by 6. What's going to happen if something breaks down?
Yeah, and that is frightening.
Yeah.
And coaches think of those things, and I felt that I saw Champagne come off that field at halftime, but he's a great athlete. But he was dragging a little bit. He's on the field the whole time. He does everything, does all the kicking, and he's getting pounded by some big people in there, and he's had a lot of pressure on the passes, and 15 passes for them and a half is a season.
And we are about to get the second half underway. An exciting first half it's been. Let's see what happens here in the second half. Promises to be just as good. Champagne with the kick. It is high and short at about the 25-yard line. Taken there by... Oh, and a great return across midfield. What a job by David Gardner as he got across midfield and into Grosse Pointe territory.
32-yard return, and you saw Gardner wrap up that football. Last week, Ferndale fumbled the opening kickoff of the second half. You're going to see him put both arms around that thing right now. It's not going anywhere, and he just puts his head down, and he's one person away from making this one go.
The Norsemen finally bring him down inside the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Deontay Reed trying to cut it outside and gets strung up there. And the tackle was number 32, Michael Turner.
Michael Turner did a good job because Reed is a cutter. He gets into the hole. You're going to see Reed cut to the outside. Turner, inside linebacker, does a great job of coming out and making a sure tackle on him because that's Reed's forte. Get me in the open and I'll find the holes.
Couple of yards for Reed. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up. 2 receivers split for Griffin. Melvin Jones is tight. On the left side, here we go to Reed again. Reed dances his way close to the 1st down. What a job Reed did. He didn't even know where he was in there.
Well, you saw what he did. He got behind the 2. They pulled the 2 linemen from the right side, and they take this over to the left, and he just gets a hold of him. He's 5'8", and you're going to see him get behind his blockers, and then he just starts picking his hole right here. And see something back to the inside. Great vision, cuts back in, and all of a sudden he's got the 1st down.
Well, he just hides in there among those big trees, and the defense has to go in there looking for him. Picks up the 1st down. Reed again now, hiding behind his lineman, and manages to sneak a few more yards out of that.
Well, I'll tell you what they like to do off of this is boot with Griffin back, and they send Jones down deep. And don't be afraid or don't be surprised to see this happen, because once Reed gets you rolling and gets all that attention, and you got to get the pursuit has to get there, because you're not going to bring him down with one person the way he cuts. And they like to boot back and get the ball over here and then let Griffin either run or throw.
2nd down. About 7 here, 2nd and 6. Griffin takes it himself. He has no intention of throwing it. He just tucked it away right away. He didn't even want to throw it away.
Yeah, I think he wanted to keep it. He came over to the sideline and said, told the offensive coordinator, he's tapping his head. He made a mistake here. Yeah, he had a breakdown. I think he was supposed to hand off the football. Yeah. You could see the way Reed reacted.
Yeah, Reed not even moving to help him.
Well, Reed turned him back and looked at him. He missed the handoff and took what he wanted, but Reed thought he was supposed to get that football. It's a big 3rd down right here.
Loss on the play, 3rd and 7 now. Griffin slant in, has his man, and I don't know if it's going to be enough for the 1st. Doesn't look like it. Has it complete to Randy Royal.
It's going to be close, and here comes Gatewood in the game. You know what that means.
Yeah. A little bit of muscle to get that 1st down for you as they get close.
Well, if they're under a yard, they like to run the sneak with Griffin right here. But they get the ball over the middle. Randy Royal, a big, strong receiver. You let it stretches that body out, and that almost could have been Spearing at the end of that one.
Yeah, came in a little bit late with the helmet. 4th and a yard. Big down right here for the Eagles. They go to Gatewood. Flags fly. I don't know if he got it.
I don't know if he got it, Frank. It's going to be against Ferndale. I don't think he got it. I think it's all academic right here. They're not going to take it. Illegal procedure. They're going to decline it and take the football.
It goes against Ferndale, so either way, it doesn't matter. Penalty hurts him. And Grosse Pointe North comes out now. Let's take a look. They stack them up pretty good. The flag comes flying in on that side right there.
Yeah, there was some confusion over there, and you saw people jump, and yeah, they had it shut down. Grosse Pointe reacted real well to it as it was.
1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. At the half, 3 receptions, 30 yards for the tight end, Simon. Harris trying to go off tackle, and not much there.
Well, Grosse Pointe passed their first test of the first half. It was imperative that they had to stop Ferndale on that first drive and kill that momentum. They got the football right here. They were a little hesitant to throw it toward the end of the first half there after Ferndale had picked off a couple passes. We'll see if they just put it up safe with those slantings that they were throwing.
A little cool in the shade, but it is just a beautiful sunny day here at Ferndale. Harris trying to bump it outside and can't do it. Good pursuit as it finally catches up to him. Randy Royal from behind, as well as number 80, Lucas.
Well, Ferndale's got two as tough a linebackers you'd want with Royal and Gardner, and you tend to forget that Royal is only a sophomore out there. And we talked about his size. He's a big kid.
Big kid. He got there first, and then you saw Lucas get in there. There you see Griffin looking on. He knows nodding, and he knows what he's going to have to do when he gets out there. 3rd down again for Grosse Pointe North, 5 of 8. The pitch to Harris. Harris trying to cut up immediately and lost his footing. It is very slippery at midfield and very soft.
Yeah, but Jones was right in his lap. The one time they had success with the option, Alvin Jones had committed to the quarterback. You don't see him committing right now. He gets himself right up into the face and forces Harris to cut back.
Jones was ready for him if he were to cut outside. Now Jones drops back to receive the punt from Champagne.
You got to give some credit to, I think it was Buckeyes, right in the face of the quarterback on that one there.
The punt, a good high kick. Short of midfield, but he gets a roll. It'll go out to about the 50-yard line, taken there. So great field position now for the Ferndale Eagles as they pick up the ball at midfield.
Yeah, and they moved the ball early and then got themselves stopped on that last drive. But we talked about you don't give Ferndale the football that often. They had the ball 14 minutes and 15 points, or 14 plays and 15 points that first half. You give them another whack at it, you're gonna have some pressure right here.
Well, Ferndale definitely has the room to move here at midfield. 1st and 10, 7:27 left here in the 3rd quarter. Reed bounces outside. Reed for the 1st down and more.
Well, another thing that's tough for Grosse Pointe, they got to be a little bit leg weary out there. Reed is not tired. He had 5 carries. Well, he didn't have 5 carries the first half because Gatewood had a couple of them.
Yeah.
Reed's legs are just like the start of the ball game, and it's a great advantage for Ferndale.
In fact, Gatewood gets a break too now, and they'll bring him in when they get closer to the end zone. Reed, the only back, 2 receivers split. And they go to Reed again. Reed trying to get a cut behind his blocker and then stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Getting there first was number 27, Aubrey, who got him by the feet.
Aubrey did a nice job of closing on that. That's what you want defensively. Get your shoulder square to that runner. And Reed isn't going anywhere when all you see him just break down, do a great job of getting underneath him and take him down. But here's where Ferndale gets dangerous because now they're going to throw the football.
6:50 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10. Here's DeAndre Reed, 7 carries in his statistics. The pass goes out there and strung up there. Good tackle by the shoelaces. Number 21. Shimonardo. Help me on that one.
Shimentero.
Shimentero as we both the announcer and myself get some help on it.
Well,
Let's
you
take a look.
get the dump on the. What they do is they run you off with Alvin Jones, and then they bring Royal in behind you, and that's a tough tandem to defend. They're both 6'4", puts a lot of pressure on those defensive backs.
Now 3rd down. Griffin to throw, has plenty of time. Unloads, complete, no, in and out of the hands of Lucas.
Well, that's the play I was talking about earlier that they like to do. They'll boot back and put pressure on your backside. Reed has the option to run it. They run you off deep with Jones, and then they bring Lucas in underneath, and he's wide open. The pass is there. He can't quite hang on to it, but you watch Griffin. He sets up so nice, gets those feet. Oh, he's actually leaning a little forward. What a great arm.
Nice throw.
And, right on the money. Lucas a little bit behind him. He can't quite get it, but give credit to the defender there. Was that 23 for Grosse Pointe? Hiller, he was there to make sure that if you didn't catch it clean, you weren't going to catch it.
4th down, they're going to go for it. 4th and 8. Griffin under pressure, throwing downfield into heavy traffic and almost intercepted down there. I don't know if they even wanted to intercept that. You saw
what Jones
was upset down there.
Jones wanted to set his feet and go jump for it. He never got them set. He set his foot and he slipped right there. And you're gonna see them come down, and he gets to the outside. Griffin does, sets up, throws the football, and Jones can't get his feet set to go get it. Grosse Pointe had it pretty well covered. A lot of people reacted to the football.
Jones going back in defensively. 1st and 10 for the Norsemen. Both teams having a tough time of it getting things going offensively. Take a look here as we see Morcutt on the carry. He's been quiet, but now breaks through here on a nice carry.
Well, Ferndale was only able to pick up 16 yards on that last possession. You're going to see the big fullback take that ball inside. We go with Harris, but he's got it. What? You better wrap it up because there was a helmet on it, and Jones was ripping at it.
Yeah.
Jones likes to strip it. He comes in from that side. He's tall. He likes to strip that football.
2nd and less than a yard. They go to Harris. Harris breaks through into the backfield. 1st down and into Eagle territory.
You wonder how effective Harris will be in college with that straight up and down style, because they tend to cut you in half when you do that unless you have the Wheatley speed. But he's big and he's strong in high school right here, and he stays right straight up, wraps up the football. And again, you see Jones come in, try to rip it out on him.
1st and 10, ball at the 48. Grosse Pointe North into Ferndale territory. High formation, they go to Harris, the tailback. Not a bad gain on a 1st down carry for Harris.
Well, for Grosse Pointe, this might almost be 4-down territory. They may go and say, we got 4 downs to pick up 10 yards, because if it gets close down here, you'd see Harris bust into the line. And this is vintage Harris. He just stays straight up. He powers you, and you can see the big hogs working on him down there.
It's getting sloppy, and they love it. 2nd and 6. Again, Harris, the workhorse now, and he is stacked up. A great job by the Eagles to stack him up at the line of scrimmage. Down at the bottom was number 64, Reeves.
One thing Grosse Pointe North had a lot of success with their first series was they mixed it up. They showed them the pass, they showed them Harris, they showed them the fullback, and they're getting in a little bit of a rut of just trying to stuff that ball down their throat. Ferndale's responding pretty well to it, but 2 interceptions kind of scares away from that passing game.
3rd down conversion time for Grosse Pointe North. They go the pitch to Harris. Harris trying to get something, and he is hit hard. Number 4 and number 5, respectively. It was, of course, Elvin Jones and the number we've called all day, Gardner, David Gardner. Let's take a look.
Boy, Gardner takes him downstairs, and Jones just gets underneath him and kisses him right here. Oh my.
That's running into a brick wall right there.
Well, because you understand the forward lean Harris normally gets. I bet he hasn't been on his backside. The back of his number's usually pretty clean, but what that did is it's forcing them to kick because it didn't get them down near that 40-yard line.
Yep. Punting down. Champagne to punt. Good high kick. Fair catch called for by Jones. and he'll get it at about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, you're wondering if Jones might have been struggling with the sun there. You saw him go all the way to his knees. He started waving for the fair catch, and then he's thought, oh, my. And you can see him go right down to his knees, said a quick prayer, and caught the football.
Yeah, anytime you're inside your own 20, you do not want to lose the ball.
Well, Grosse Point's made some nice adjustments defensively, and Ferndale really hasn't done much their first two possessions.
Gatewood in there now, a tailback. You see him. And they go to Gatewood. He goes off tackle and rumbles outside for a gain of a few. Clock under 3 minutes now at 2:50 left here in the third quarter.
Well, you get down inside there, and 5 yards on first down is a good job, and that's what Gatewood gets for you. You can see him. He gets to the outside and then turns upfield, and he's another one of those backs. You better get him low, because if you get him high, he's just going to steamroll you. We saw that on the extra point.
Very similar to the style of Harris. So he'll lean a little bit more into you. Gatewood, there he goes. Outside, not much there. It'll bring up a 3rd and long now for Ferndale.
Yeah, good pursuit on the part of the Northmen there. They've reacted very well defensively, and they've shut down the running attack of Ferndale, and they're playing those two deep safeties and keeping it back. You can see him come back with Gatewood here, and he gets pushed to the outside. A lot of people get to him, and then he's shut down.
3rd down and conversion time here. They're in punting territory, deep in their own territory at about the 20-yard line. To throw. Throwing out, and, well, you had two Eagles out there almost. Could have had it. Royal and in Elvin Jones' territory. Jones tried to get it off after Royal had tipped it.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to get the first down with Royal. They run you off with Jones. They bring it back and get Royal underneath as he breaks out. The ball goes off of Royal's hands, but Royal, and you see Jones react back, almost picks that one up, but now it's punt time, and Grosse Point's going to get the ball back with excellent field position.
So the punt that Grosse Point did, rather than trying to go for it, really worked for them as they were able to stop Ferndale. And now they look like they'll get good field position. But what a good roll. Here we go. A great roll here for Griffin as he gets him down to the 30. So Grosse Point North wanted to get a return at midfield. Instead, it rolls 20 yards back. And a big break for the Eagles as they get a great punt there. Ball will be at the 30-yard line of Grosse Point North.
That's a 50-yard punt, and that's just what the doctor ordered. And Griffin's a good solid kicker, but 50's a big spot for him. That's he got the roll.
He sure did.
Yeah, there's no wind either. It was just he got it on the ground, got it to roll.
Beautiful day here at Ferndale High School. And the Grosse Point Norsemen start at their own 30. 1st and 10. Champagne takes it himself. Looked like a little bit of confusion between the fullback, Moorcutt, and the quarterback. Moorcutt got up and said, hey, wait a second, you're supposed to give me the ball.
Well, it looked like they were trying to run the option to this to the short side of the field, and
Moorcutt wants it.
Yeah, Moorcutt wants the football, and he's taking it back out, wants to pitch to Harris. But you know, the possessions, Grosse Point had the ball, gave up the ball on the 15-yard line. Ferndale had it, or on the 44-yard line, gave it up to Ferndale. Ferndale gets the 50-yard kick to get out of the hole.
Big break for Ferndale. 2nd and 10. Champagne to throw. Has a man deep downfield. Complete for the first down. And finally wrapped up down there. And getting him was Taylor. Lawan Taylor.
Well, they've done a good job of running this slant in. They've been getting the ball over the middle. They can't throw the ball out real well against Ferndale. They've been able to get it over the middle. Their big plays have been there, and Ellis does a great job of catching it, and he about broke it.
Yep, 19 yards on the play. Gets him out close to midfield again. Ball at the 49-yard line.
But those passes over the middle, if they do go bounced up in the air, they're intercepted.
That's how the Eagles picked up their first interception. It bounced into the hands of Jones. Look at this. Moorcutt now. Now they go to the air, one play, and now they come back on the run, and a guy you don't expect to break one, Moorcutt, gets close to about 15 yards.
Yeah, but that's back to what we were talking about, mixing it up. They come with Moorcutt right here. He does a good job. He's running hard inside and gets into that secondary. And they've got trouble bringing him down. He's another big. You look at him, he can't come down when you get him up high like that. But we had talked about them mixing it up on their first drive of the game, and now they mixed it up here. They got things going. 16-yard run.
Yep, 16 yards on the last play. And they're grinding it out now with Harris, and they expect Harris. Nothing on that one. As they stack him up at the line of scrimmage, you see Gardner and you see Elvin Jones.
Well, you talk how important it is to mix things up because they are keen on Harris. And we end the quarter right there. And all the things that we had the first half, it's been defense the second half.
And both teams toughening up here in the third quarter as we go into the fourth quarter. The score, the Ferndale Eagles 15 and the Grosse Pointe Norsemen 14. We'll be back.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
Welcome back to Ferndale High School here at Hanson Field, where the Ferndale Eagles lead 15-14 over Grosse Pointe North. Dave Zorin along with Frank Plakis. As we start the fourth quarter, there you see number 8, and that is Gatewood.
Well, the time of possession was almost equal that first half, and you can see that they come back running the football, but the time of possession was pretty close. Grosse Pointe had it a minute longer than Ferndale did, and
in that third quarter.
In that third quarter, yeah. And that evened things up. But you know, both teams are well coached, and they made their adjustments at halftime. They've shut each other down, and I don't know what Grosse Pointe's been in the fourth quarter all season, but Ferndale's been a big fourth quarter ball club, and obviously with their last 2 wins, they had to pull them out in the fourth quarter.
Champaign now looking at another third down, 3rd and 5. Champaign slant in to throw to, out of the hands of Sombera. And that play worked so well for them that time. Something broke down. Let's take a look.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success with that. The ball's right on the money, but he comes in just a little bit of a lead, but that's the kind you got to pull in. He tried to square up on it.
You look like Sombera didn't go after it.
Yeah, he tried to square up on it rather than continue into it. Looks like Champaign led him a little bit, and that's the one thing Ferndale's going to have to shut down here is that slant in. Now, in this situation, they like to fake that dive and throw to that tight end, but that's what led to an interception before.
They're going for it. You can hear the Ferndale fans as well as Grosse Pointe side. 4th and 5. Champaign throwing downfield, has nothing but yellow down the sideline, and his team comes up with the first down as he finds his receiver. And it looked like Moorcutt down there coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, they flooded the zone and they get Champaign out. Champaign does a great job avoiding pressure right here. You can see that he's under pressure on the outside. Big tackle chasing him down. 3 receivers down there. They flood that zone and they said, well, we got to find somebody open.
Yeah, the tight end Simon, Moorcutt, and Joe Ellis down there. 1st and 10. Ball just inside the 15-yard line. They go to Harris. Harris trying to muscle his way for the first down. Gets across the 10 and down to about the 7-yard line.
Well, Harris did a good job. He got hit at the point of attack and spun out and picked up another 5 yards after being met at 3 here. You're going to see they come up, they get a good piece of them right here, and then Harris just shows his power, spins out of that grip, and comes down, and boy, they're in good position right now.
Ball at about the 7. They need to get inside the 5 for the first down. And you see the Ferndale fans quiet. 10 of 18 for 140 for Champaign through the air. Harris to pick up the first down. Harris for the touchdown.
Harris gets near that goal line, has that ability to cut back, and did a great job right there. Again, it was stacked up pretty good at the point of attack, and he was able to sidestep, get himself into the end zone, and pick up touchdown right there. This is, I mean, you talk about big extra points. I mean, this is the biggest of them all. They're going to have to go for two. Do you come right back with Harris on that play?
That's the question now.
Most high school teams on a two-point conversion like to sprint out and put pressure on that corner. But they're so tough over there with Jones, they're going to put two wideouts and get him over. And, boy, this is definitely a throwing set that they're in. So they're going to sprint out and throw.
That's what they do. Champagne to throw, has Harris wide open, and they pick up the two. And that is a big conversion, as that will tie things up if Ferndale will come back to get 7. 22-5 as Grosse Pointe North comes back with 8 points to start the fourth quarter here.
Yeah, they put Harris over there, you know, as a receiver, and they slide him out. Nobody goes with him. He's wide open. You see Gardner react past him. Gardner got over there, but he just ran right past Harris. Didn't get his hand on the football. The defense responded, but Harris did it a little better than they did.
So now Elvin Jones will try to get his game-breaking ability into play here, but you'll bet that they're not going to kick to him.
Yeah, they've been kicking the ball low and over to the left side of Ferndale. They don't want them to get the ball over to Jones. He's had a couple kickoff returns. I know through his career, even since his sophomore year, he's had a bundle of them.
8 plays, 70 yards. The 7-yard run by Harris to cap it off after 3:17. They go to Elvin Jones, who picks it up. Jones up the middle. Jones cuts outside. You do not want to get into that guy. And Jones had it, but finally out of bounds across the 25-yard line.
You know why they don't kick to him. He didn't have much of a seam either. He just had enough to turn that speed on. Champagne's the kicker and the quarterback there, 67-yard return. Champagne's the safety on that, did his job and made the tackle, but not until Jones ran 67 yards with the football. You're going to see him. They got a middle return on, and he gets into the seam, and he stays low, and watch him accelerate right here. He just knows where it goes. Look at those legs. He looks like a greyhound out there just sprinting, and he realizes right here it's just he and Champagne. He tries to put a move on him to the inside. Champagne doesn't bite. He says, I'm going to use the sidelines.
We talk about his game-breaking ability. There it is. And now Deontay Reed trying to get some blocks, and nothing but a sea of yellow there, and he manages to get something out of it. A good job by the little guy.
Well, the thing it does now, it puts Ferndale down in that 4-down territory. You can pick your plays a little bit differently because you feel you got 4 tries. Somewhere in here you can throw the football. Jones is signaling the sidelines. He feels that they've got something going over there. They'll run that X pattern with him in Royal, but they're setting Jones out all by himself. He wants to be alone. Champagne gets no help on this one.
Griffin to throw. Goes to an open man in the flat, touchdown. And the Eagles come right back to Taylor.
Well, that's
Juan Taylor.
Now, see, having a player like Jones, he went over. You could see him signal to the sidelines, and he got himself in single coverage, took Champagne inside, and they slid the receiver out behind him wide open. There's nobody on him right here.
I think they really adjusted to this as it happened. Take a look, the pump, the fake, and nobody out there to cover.
It's catch it and don't drop it. And he stumbles and then dives into the end zone. And here we go to tie it up.
They're going for the tie with 9:25 left here in the fourth quarter. It is up, and it is good.
You saw Ferndale go with a long count there, trying to draw Grosse Pointe offside. It does two things when you go with a long count. One, you've got the potential of drawing them offsides, and two, it makes that defense sit back. If they know they're trying to be drawn offside, they'll sit back on their haunches, and then that neutralizes that rush. They don't get that good push right away. And Griffin splits the uprights, and this one's 22-all. And
what a change. We saw a third quarter. There was a defensive struggle, and now Grosse Pointe North takes it in right away. The Eagles come right back and answer.
Well, big plays. Grosse Pointe went and started mixing up their offense again, and they made it tougher for Ferndale to cover it. But Jones comes back.
It's a typical Ferndale drive here.
Yeah, but you ask Jones to make big plays for you, and what does he do? He runs back to kick off 67 yards. And then after the first play, comes over the sidelines and signals that, hey, it's open over here. Let's run it, and they get the receiver wide open. That's one that definitely wasn't in the North playbook. I don't think they knew that one was around.
Griffin to kick, a low kick. Squibbed it along the ground, and down there by number 49, Chad Cooper.
Well, they didn't want to return the favor there. They didn't want to kick that up and let them come down and get that momentum. You're going to see right here, as we said, Ferndale's been a big fourth quarter football team, but Harris has been a big fourth quarter player as he was against Brother Rice last week.
Don't go anywhere, folks. 9:24 left in the fourth quarter, all tied up at 22 apiece. Steve Champagne, the quarterback for Grosse Pointe North, calls the signals. I formation, two receivers split. Goes to the tailback, Harris. And he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
You know, I was thinking Champagne was getting tired, but you know, you take a high school kid and put that adrenaline shot in him. And I mean the legal one, not the illegal one. I mean, that he got primed up, and he's led his football team. You see him clapping his hands down there in the huddle right now. He's the leader. There's no doubt about it.
Make that a yard gain for Harris. 30 carries for 113. So he's over the century mark and a little bit more. 2nd and 9. Champagne to throw down the middle of the field, and
that's the danger.
Get it out of the hands of Ellis, but that could have been intercepted easily back there.
That's the danger. The Ferndale defense, they go and they funnel everything to the inside. They ask you to throw the ball inside against them, and if you make a mistake, they're going to punish you. And right there, they had the tackle, but the ball's up and over, and I'll tell you, Grosse Pointe escaped one right there.
Yeah, the safety, David Sanford, was just hanging back, and had that ball just been tipped up just a little bit more, that could have been Ferndale ball right now.
Well, they're lucky the middle of that field's a little muddy, because I think on a dry day, he would have had it.
Yeah. 6 of 11 on third downs for Grosse Pointe North, and they're in third down territory. They've got to get it here. Champagne to throw. Going for Harris, and there's a pass interference. Flags flying everywhere as Harris was draped by the defender before the ball even touched his hands.
Well, what they do is the defensive end has to take that back out of the backfield, and then they run you off on the weak side and bring Harris out into the flat. They want to hit him. Lucas had to run with him, and a little desperation right here. And I don't think he realized he didn't have to. I think the pass was going to be, well, it was right there, wasn't it? I mean,
it was there.
Yeah, that may have been an excellent penalty.
Yeah, because that could have been a touchdown if
Harris catches it in stride.
Yeah, if Lucas did not do that, he might have been gone.
Well, you can see the same as Ferndale does. When the pressure's on, Harris is going to be involved in the play somehow.
Penalties you see there, 5 for 45, 2 for 30. Grosse Pointe North with the bad end of that one. In motion goes Aubrey as he flips over to the other side. And the power eye goes right. Harris down the sideline, close to the first down. We'll see if he didn't step out of bounds.
Well, they come with that power sweep, and you got to get up into that early, because if Harris is allowed to turn up the corner, they give him the pitch, they shift the back over, they come out of the power eye, and you see the missed tackle there, and a little bit of maybe a hold on Lucas. Lucas had pretty good position. I saw two hands on him, but maybe a push, but they got the corner, and Harris ran it hard, ran it tough. Did pick up the first down.
Yep. 1st and 10. He's got the first down.
Well, penalties have loomed big in this ball game because both sides have taken advantage of them.
Power eye again. They go to the right side as Aubrey switches.
They like to trap back with Aubrey on this.
And that's what they do. They go to the counter, and Aubrey is into the backfield and more. First down across the 30-yard line.
Well, they show you Harris wide, and then they come back with Aubrey on the trap, and you see the great lead block here by 73. We got to pick up a name on that because he does a great job of making it all happen for Grosse Pointe.
Yeah, that was Bergman, Troy Bergman, with that lead block out there.
Yeah, he was the man. They trapped back, and Lucas stepped up where he was supposed to. And look at Grosse Pointe, 23 first downs to 7. But that's because Ferndale's such a big play team.
Yeah, today has been very evident. Ferndale has just come back on short drives, big plays, as Grosse Pointe North has relied on good sustained drives, eating up the clock, and a timeout called by North with 7:53 left.
Well, that Champagne went up the line, and whatever play was called, they were sitting right in the middle of it, and he knew it. It wasn't going to go. You'd rather take the timeout than waste the play.
Join Mark Gomez as he takes you on the waters of Michigan on the Master Anglers program. He and his guests will give you the advice you need to reel in a fish just like the one he's got here. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday night at 8 on TCI 63. And a lot to cheer about on both sides right now, but the Eagles have to toughen up because the Norsemen are on the move, and they continue to grind out those first downs.
Well, and you see the experience of Champagne right there. Rather than waste the play, because this is the drive. You're down here now, you might as well get it in the end zone or get a field goal, and don't waste it down and save the timeout for later. Things weren't right. He took the timeout. Let's see if it pays off.
With the timeout on a first down, 1st and 10, the ball inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line. Total yards on the day, Grosse Pointe North 309, Ferndale 145. But we're all tied up. 22 apiece with 7:53 left in this one. Champagne, as Harris slipped, Champagne decided to take it himself.
Well, that's the right thing because you're taught if you're the quarterback, if you miss the handoff or the play is broken, go where it's supposed to go because you know there's blocking there, and you see Harris slip down. He just comes back, looks for his blockers, and saves the day, really picks up a yard on a broken play.
2nd and 9 now for the Norsemen.
I got to believe on the pressure play that slanting has got to be covered.
Yeah. Ellis and Sombera are split. Champagne looking down to Ellis, complete for the first down inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Taylor slipped down, and we knew that's coming. He breaks it off. He comes right at Taylor, breaks off to the inside. Champagne delivers right on the numbers, and Harris regains his feet, or Taylor regains his feet, makes the tackle, but Grosse Pointe gets the first down. You're going to see Ferndale take one. And, hey, this is the time because you got to hold them at least a field goal.
And with the pause in the action, 7:01 left in the fourth quarter, all tied up. We'll be right back right after this. Stay with us.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this: $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology. Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this. Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more. The competition can. Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't. They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us. Welcome back to Ferndale High School, where the Grosse Pointe North Norsemen have the ball just inside the 15-yard line at about the 13-yard line, and they will have 1st and 10 from there between the 13 and 14-yard line. So,
well, this is
on their way.
This is where Harris and Morcutt have been really tough. When they get inside that 20-yard line, they just strap it on and take turns blocking for each other.
7:01 left in the game, all tied up. A big series right here. They go to the first man through. Morcutt And he tries to get to the 10-yard line. Looks like he was just short.
Well, Morcutt and then Harris, and then they've got the play they ran for the 2-point conversion where they set Harris up over there just off the tight end and gets out into the reception area. Champagne, 11 of 16 for 155 yards. And, I told Coach before the ball game they were going to have to throw the football a lot more than they normally do if they were going to win this one.
And they have. So far, 9 plays, 61 yards, and 3 minutes off the clock. Simbera in motion. Option play, taking it himself, and now pitching to Harris. Harris trying to cut it up. And does. Gets it close to the 5-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down. Yeah, well short of it.
Well, they strung everything out. It's going to be third down. Then the decision comes right here. They do a good job of stringing it out. Champagne starts to turn upfield. Randy Royal runs a little bit past the play, allows Harris to dive forward for another 2. But the decision here is, if you don't get the first down, do you go to the field goal? I think so. Most high school teams have excellent kickers with the resurgence of soccer. Everybody's got a soccer kicker.
Yeah. Timeout called by Grosse Pointe North.
Except the soccer kicker isn't a soccer player. It's Champagne. He steps up there, and I got to believe if you want to put the weight on anyone's shoulder, he's the young man, though. They recognize his leadership abilities way back when he was a 9th grader.
All tied up at 22 apiece. 5:31 left in this one. And decision time for Grosse Pointe North. Hey, don't forget to tune in to the Roadshow video program. Pat and Bubba take you on an adventure each edition of Roadshow Video. This month, the guys try out paintball. That's on Roadshow Video on TCI 63 Thursday at 9 p.m.
Well, I think you look for Grosse Pointe North to run something to their offensive right. Get the ball. If they don't get their first down, then they're right in front of the goalpost and set it up for Champagne to take that 3-point lead. And I don't think you're going to see anything go to the left side here.
Yeah, they're on the left hash, so they've got plenty of room to do any kind of running to the right. And that's what they want to do. Ferndale Eagles sideline, getting the defense fired up. A big stop is needed here.
I think they're going to go with that sweep right.
3rd and 2. Champagne giving it to Harris, who muscles his way for the touchdown.
Boy, Harris is tough down there on that inside that 20-yard line. He has that ability to start wide and cut back and use those big shoulders, and he puts it in the end zone.
Harris with his 3rd touchdown of the day.
Well, they're going to kick it with Champagne. He's been perfect so far today, and he just used those big thighs. You don't knock him down with an arm.
5:27 left in this one, and Grosse Pointe North has just taken the lead back, and a very important extra point. Ooh, almost had trouble with the snap. The holder, Simbera, did a good job of getting it down, and they kick it through.
Well, they hooked it too. It had a hook on it, but he got it inside. Good, strong leg. I'll guarantee you one thing right now, Dave. Absolutely, Jones is not going to touch this football on this kickoff. Yeah, they're gonna kick it. They're gonna roll it down there, and they're not going to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, they'll do anything they can to keep it out of Elvin Jones's hand. As we said, he's the game breaker right before the last kickoff, and he took it for 67 yards.
Well, you can see him talking to Sanford, and don't be surprised if it gets to Sanford in a hurry that he pitches it to him, because Jones is the guy who will take it the distance.
Well, they kicked it over to Sanford's side last time, as you see the scoring drive, 10 plays, 71 yards, 358 in the 5-yard run by Harris. But they kicked it to Sanford's side last time, and you saw Jones drift over to get it.
Yeah, if it's deep enough, this one's going to roll. Yeah, this one, ideally, if you're Grosse Pointe North, you want that ball to hit maybe about the 40-yard line. Jones is back there, and his motor's running.
There it is. Yep. They kick the squiv kick. And Gatewood has it. Now Gatewood can run too.
Yes,
and
he
Gatewood
can.
takes off, and he's got one man to beat and runs right over Champagne. But they get him at the 30-some yard line here. I guess they'll mark it at the 38.
Well, you take your one of your top running backs who's gained over 600 yards in a season, move him up that short position. Gatewood picks it up, and he says, you know what? I can take it the distance, too. I'm 6 foot, 225 pounds. I'm going to take it 28 yards right at you. And he doesn't quite have the speed that Jones does, but, boy, he has power. He picked up 15 yards after they got his shirt tail there.
Ball at the 38-yard line of Grosse Pointe. They're going to Jones. Jones leaping and almost came up with that one. Covered down there by Champagne.
Well, Champagne did a great job against Brother Rice in the fourth quarter and had a couple tips and knockaways right there. You see him dip in a little deep because they put all the pressure on right away with Jones deep. And the ball's delivered, and you're going to see Champagne make a great effort to go and knock this one away.
2nd down and 10. Ball mismarked and now brought back to the 38-yard line.
Well, that loomed real big, a yard.
Everything's important right now. They give it to Reed on the carry, and he's caught from behind by big number 73, Troy Bergman.
Well, you saw Champagne. They went into a little different defense right there. Grosse Pointe did. They showed him a different coverage, and Champagne went to that safety position rather than playing that corner. And they talked about that before the game, that they would make some changes in that secondary to free up Champagne to do a little bit more damage.
3rd down, a big 3rd down here for the Eagles. 4:40 and counting down in the fourth quarter. Griffin to throw, hit right as he released. Intended for Jones, and he was hit hard in there by big number 66. That's Fuga, Nicholas Fuga.
Well, you're going to see a lot of pressure on Griffin right here. They get the good pressure. He gets the ball high. Jones can't square up on it and go get it. But now those receivers have to get 10 yards downfield is what's important right here. You see Grosse Pointe with time of possession, 29 and a half minutes versus 13. But it goes for naught if they pick up the first down right here and move it down. But you're going to see Jones and Royal do a cross right here.
Here it is, 4th down, a big 4th down for the Eagles. Griffin to throw, and it was intended for number 86, Randy Royal, who really wasn't even looking for the pass.
Yeah, I think Griffin gave him to him early. Randy Royal was running him down. Looks like he was going to break off on him. And the ball was delivered early. He turns around, and it's there already. And he was unable to react to the football. I don't think he'd had the first down anyhow. He looked like he was only about 6-7 yards downfield.
And that's why he probably wasn't looking yet.
Yeah, he wanted to get that 10-yard marker.
Griffin had already delivered. So Grosse Pointe North takes over on downs with 4:30 left. So still time for the Eagles if they can make a stop here.
Well, I guarantee you that football's staying on the ground, and the two big boys are going to carry it.
Yeah. Not going to see too much throwing now. Grosse Pointe North wants to eat this clock up. And Harris gets it off tackle, and they stop him. So that's what they need if they can continue to do that. Because Grosse Pointe North wants to run it, and if they can stop the run, they may get a chance to get the ball back.
Well, I think if I'm North, I'm going to run the ball 3 times and then kick it and tell my defense, you got to play tough because you don't want to make a mistake down here. All those defensive backs for Ferndale can take it the distance. If they do run anything, it's going to be that slant in the middle of the field. If you do intercept it, they're going to have a shot at you.
There you see Gatewood on the sideline. He did a nice job returning it, but Eagles came up empty-handed. Harris on the carry. Harris rumbles for some good yardage now. 3rd down and short coming up.
Yeah, they get 3rd and it looks to be about maybe
about 3.
Yeah, about 3. And they've been coming with the big fullback on this one. They've been going and getting you concerned about Harris, and they take that fullback right over that guard hole. Don't be surprised to see the big Moorcut take this one. Or
3rd and 3.
Or a little trap back here.
Yeah, the trap has worked well for them. Let's see what they do. They go straight ahead with Harris. I don't know if he's going to get it. Let's see what they mark. It's going to be close.
They gave him the extra surge. If they gave him the surge, he's got the first down.
The initial stop stopped him And now they give him the first down. So North picks up a very valuable first down to eat up more of the clock.
Yeah, and he just powers his way in. Look at his legs go. He did it. He's tough. He knows what he has to do, and he's the game maker for them, or the game breaker.
First down, just shy of midfield.
Well, it's one more first down. We'll seal this for North. This is going to be an awful tough, hard to come back if they get one more.
Harris, off tackle. Finally put down there by number 70, Pulaski.
Well, that clock keeps moving. Then you can go, you space your time right. An experienced quarterback like Champagne, you're going to take about 20, 25 seconds each play, and you get a minute off a clock. You get 2 minutes off with 4 plays.
And they're using it effectively here. Clock winding down as you see it. Champagne taking his time. Randy Royal got there first on the last play. Pulaski was there to help. Here we go.
It'll be too much
Flags
time.
fly, delay of game call against Grosse Pointe North.
Now, normally
it stops just under 2 minutes.
Normally they would go and start the clock after this, but when it comes down to the end of the game and you're delaying it and to gain an advantage, they won't start that clock. And if they do, you're going to see that Ferndale sidelines give it a whistle here. But if it's a delay of the game after a running play, they generally start it back up. But though in high school football this year, they've slowed the game down quite a bit because they don't start the clock after the possessions until the snap, and the game's got a lot longer. I know the videotapes took a lot longer.
Had to pause a few more times. Harris, 37 carries, 155 yards, and watch for him to get some more. Here they go to Aubrey. Aubrey hit in the backfield. They knew that was coming, and they read it well. Getting in there first was Pulaski, along with Taylor.
Well, they went to that well, and it went dry.
Yeah.
But that's been a big play for them. That was on that touchdown drive. He had a big pickup and off of that, but you saw everybody fill up that. Even that corner was up in there. Number 3 is that Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor even got out of his corner spot. He was up in there. Everybody's reacting that because they've got one message. Grosse Pointe's not going to throw the football. They are not going to put it up.
So Ferndale calls timeout to stop the clock at 1:51. 29-22 the score here in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, in January, high school and college basketball comes your way here on TCI 63. Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. So watch for that. Eagles looking on. They want one more shot at it. They want to stop Grosse Pointe North right here. Harris with a big day. Power eye left. And they go that way. Champagne takes it himself. Flags fly as he goes out of bounds at midfield.
You take the clip, you decline. Don't take the clip. You think? I don't know. That's tough because it's 15 yards.
Yeah.
That's a big change in field position.
Do you want yards, or you
but
want to
they're
give
going
them
to kick it
another
right
play?
now.
Yeah.
But they're going to kick it right now. Yeah. Is what's more important, the time or the yards?
Yeah. Let's take a look.
And Champagne fakes to Harris and comes out wide, and it's Taylor gets ripped from behind, and Champagne is able to get up the sidelines, but he got there because of the clip. Yeah, Ferndale declines. Yeah, I think you got to get the football.
Yeah, you want to get it back.
Time is more against you than the.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you get it. You just want it back in your hands.
Yeah, and let the big guns do it.
Fourth down, punting down. Ball at midfield.
Well, the one thing you don't want to rough them.
Champagne to punt. Up, they held up. Elvin Jones. Oh boy. He's going to let it roll, and it's not going good. Inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they get the roll. Good coverage downfield by Grosse Pointe North. Jones was down there, and he had an opportunity to pick the ball up, but he had a defender right in his face. Looks like 41 for Grosse Pointe down there with good coverage. Steve?
Muccioli.
No, we get the Bernhardt.
Oh, Bernhardt.
We get the misprint on our program, and it's Bernhardt. And special teams came up big right here.
The average Ferndale drive has taken 121. There's 1:35 left on the clock. So that's working for him so far. Griffin to throw. Right through the hands of Elvin Jones. Jones wants a flag.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe that there's no interference on this. Jones turns up, and, I mean, they're all over him. And no call.
Take a look if we can see it right into your living room.
Yeah, they want to get the ball to him and let him try to do something big with it, and they're all over him early. And big no call.
We'll bring up 2nd and 10 now. Clock stopped at 1:32.
I think what they want to do is get the ball to Jones and just get some freedom here.
And they need some room to work. They go out and complete.
Randy
to Royal. And Royal is close to the first down.
Well, they want to get right up there and get that next play going because
they have to stop, move the chains right now.
The clock
stopped. 1:26. Let's take a look. There's the throw to Royal.
Yeah, Royal get good position, and they ran him off with Jones, and that's what they do a lot. They try to get Jones some single coverage over here on the outside.
Griffin goes to the air again. Complete out there to Sanford. Sanford stops the clock by going out of bounds.
You know, in their ball games in the past, the ones they've come back, Sanford's been an important part of this because they get so much coverage on the other side. He gets the ball, picks up the yardage, gets out of bounds, picks up a first down, does a great job of ripping away to get out of bounds and not use up much time.
Well, 1:09 still left on the clock. Big drive right here for the Eagles as they continue to pick up first downs and continue to use the clock wisely. Griffin to throw downfield. And intercepted and in and out of the hands. Great job by Taylor to knock the ball loose from the Grosse Pointe North defender as he had it in his hands for the interception.
Well, that's the play they ran on the extra point down there, and or the touchdown. Was it an extra point or touchdown? 2-point conversion, or the touchdown. They threw to Taylor. And that was the one where they
ran the touchdown.
Yeah, the touchdown where they ran him off with Jones and brought Taylor from the tight end spot behind.
Yeah. Griffin to throw again, looking for help and brought down from behind. And that is big number 73, Troy Bergman again.
Well, Bergman got in there, and all of a sudden he realized that I can go get him. You're going to see a hesitation here. Bergman gets good penetration, and Griffin pump fakes, and everybody stops, and then Bergman just peels him. Great play by Bergman.
Timeout called by Ferndale. 3rd down and about 11 coming up. 56 seconds left on the clock.
Well, Ferndale's got one timeout left, and don't be surprised to see them come back with Sanford over here. He's been a big man, and he can get himself open on the side, get out of bounds, and keep this thing moving. A couple quick ones there, and then something back. I'm surprised Ferndale hasn't come back and got Jones in that single coverage that they had before. And but I'm sure you're going to see Grosse Pointe North change up that defense and get themselves. There's going to be somebody deep. Maybe Champagne.
56 seconds left in the game.
Yeah,
Eagles so far using the clock wisely, but they're down to 3rd down now.
Look at the triple coverage over on that side where Jones and Royal are.
They're looking that way. Griffin takes it himself. Griffin angling for the sideline. Picks up the first down and stops the clock. Great play by Griffin.
Boy,
49 seconds left.
Heads up play right there. They got him flushed in the pocket. That's going to be a coverage sack. Nobody gets open. They get the good coverage downfield. And Griffith sees a seam right here, and he just explodes, gets a 15-yard run and a first down. And he shows some speed of his own here. He puts on the jets because he knows where that out of bounds is, wants to get there.
First down, Griffin to throw. Has his man for the first down, and that's Elvin Jones. Jones cuts to the wide side of the field. Jones has one man to beat and goes out of bounds with 36 seconds left. Elvin Jones, the game breaker.
You throw an 8-yard pass to Jones, and he turns it into what do we got? About a 45-yard run. And what a great effort. They hit him right on the money. He goes down and gets it, and then he rips away, breaks the tackle, comes back to the inside, and that was Champagne that he broke the tackle on. And he's right here. He's got one guy to beat. He's trying to set it up. Great effort on the defensive man. I didn't pick up his number of holding his ground. You know, the Grosse Pointe defenders have a good job of using that sideline, not letting people come back inside on them.
Ball at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10.
I'll tell you, they like to throw the fade to Jones over in the corner on this. They try to get Royal over the middle on a quick play, and because he's tough, he runs that. They've got a timeout. They can afford to take the ball inside. They brought Gatewood in for blocking purposes, trying to give Griffith a little more protection in there.
The Eagles on the move. The crowd of over 4,000 watching.
Well, they got Randy Royal as a tight end with single coverage over there. Boy, do they like this.
They go out to Sanford. They complete it to Sanford. And a nice gain. Let's see where they mark it. Clock still running, 23 seconds and counting. Eagles lining up quickly.
He doesn't want to down it. No, why'd he do that? Oh, here I am coaching. And
down the ball.
Yeah, because they've got to pick up a first down here. Now they've put themselves in a position where, they've got 4th down in whatever.
They should have at least tried to pick up that first.
Well, I thought they had a
play before the last. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, they've got the pass to Sanford over there, and he cuts to the inside. And I don't know, maybe Ferndale doesn't have any timeouts left. I thought they'd only used 2 this half.
No, they have used their 3.
Okay, then they had to do what they did.
Yeah. 14 seconds left. This is it. 4th down. Griffin takes it himself.
Doesn't get the first down.
Does not pick up the first down as Grosse Pointe is jumping up and down over there. Let's see what they get.
Well, we got to see where he steps out.
Yeah.
They signal it first down, Grosse Pointe.
Let's see. No signal yet.
No, they got a mark over there.
Grosse Pointe has it. They take over on downs. 9 seconds left.
Yeah, Griffiths ran to the corner, and Charlie Griffins, and it looked like he had the first down, but they signal it coming up a little bit short. Grosse Pointe just going to kneel down on this one.
Let's take a look.
See if we can pick it up. And he gets down. He's got Jones, and he turns up and he runs. You see Champagne step up on him. He's going to go and come past Champagne. And, he dove for it, but the sticks were down, and they were probably short. He dove for it with the football. Great effort on his part. What a football game.
And that'll do it. What a game. Here at Ferndale High School, the Norsemen come up on top, 29-22. But it wasn't until the last seconds of the game for this one to be decided.
Yeah, this one wasn't over until 9 seconds to go, because Ferndale did everything, got the ball up the field. Jones almost breaks it all the way, gets it down in position. What a great effort by Grosse Pointe North to hang in there with all the pressure on them. They dominate the football game from a number standpoint, but they almost walked out of here with the wrong number on the scoreboard.
Yeah. On the other side, the Ferndale Eagles, what a season it's been for them. Their first loss coming now in the playoffs, and it's a tough one. But hats off to both teams, and the Eagles have nothing to be ashamed of. What a great season they've had.
Well, I got to believe since Ferndale's never had a playoff win until this year, it's got to be the most wins they've ever had in a season, because prior to the playoffs, the most you could play was 9. And I know they had a 9-0 team back with Frank Drenko won the state championship. But, there's the coach. I know he's disappointed. Heck of an effort. They've pulled some out, and it almost looked like they were going to pull another one out here.
The final score from Ferndale. The Grosse Pointe North Norsemen 29, the Ferndale Eagles 22. We'll be back to wrap things up from Ferndale right after this. Stay with us.
I'm the king.
Rock and roll?
No coupons. I'm Mike Gauthier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my market share coupon book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
Welcome back to Ferndale High School here at Hanson Field, where the Grosse Pointe North Norsemen have defeated the Ferndale Eagles 29-22 here at the home field of the Eagles. And here are the final stats for you. Passing for Grosse Pointe North, 155. Ferndale came back, took the lead in passing, 163. 133 of those going to Elvin Jones. The rushing, 205 for Grosse Pointe North, 71 for Ferndale, but that was to be expected. Total yards, 360 to 240.
Well, what happened is that Ferndale got behind and they couldn't dictate the terms of the game. They did have to throw. They couldn't get their balanced attack going. And when they did have the opportunity in the third quarter to play a balanced attack, they didn't move the football.
As it finally turns out, time of possession in favor of Grosse Pointe North, and they do walk away with a victory. Here, 35 minutes to 12 minutes. You saw first downs, Grosse Pointe North. Obviously, that goes with time of possession with the edge there. And 2 turnovers apiece, and the turnovers played a big part in this game.
Well, there's no doubt because both teams scored it after a turnover, with Grosse Pointe North scoring their second touchdown after a fumble by Ferndale. And then Jones picked off a pass and took it down deep into the Grosse Pointe territory, and Ferndale was able to score. But Grosse Pointe came into the ball game and said, we have to control the time of possession, and they did it, and they won the football game, and that's what you execute a game plan.
And they did it with Harris, 37 carries, 155 yards. On the other side, Jones, 4 receptions, 133 yards, 1 kickoff return for 67 yards, and 2 interceptions for 37 yards.
That's a pretty decent afternoon.
Pretty decent afternoon. Scoring by quarters, it was 2 different quarters really in the first half. 14 for Grosse Pointe North, 15 for Ferndale. They had the lead at halftime. And then third quarter, really, it was a stalemate. Both teams really just battling each other defensively, shutting each other down. And then in the fourth quarter, Grosse Pointe North came back. Getting that 2-point conversion was big for them, but they got 2 big scores to put them away. Ferndale answered that first score with a touchdown, but it was too much on the second one.
Yeah, and Ferndale finished the ball game running out of downs, down on about the 1.5 yard line, 2 yard line, and that's the way the game ended because they had no timeouts left. Grosse Pointe was able to take the snap and run out the last 9 seconds, but this one went right down to the final minute, and excellent job for both squads, and the kids rose to the occasion. That's what you love to see with high school kids, where the pressure's in front of them and they execute, and both sides did that.
Well, great way to end the season here, and a great game, a great contest. Don't forget, in January, high school and college basketball comes your way, Saturdays and Mondays at 8 p.m. For Frank Plakas and the entire TCI crew, I'm Dave Zorn. Thanks for tuning in all year. We'll see you in January when we start our basketball coverage. Good night, everybody.